once again to go racing.
The pressure is really on now. And it's pole position.
And it's pedal to the metal. Go, go, go!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the fun place on Thursday nights. We're off to the sandy circuit of Bahrain. It is season 29 of PSGL, the top tier of PC. We're going to be lighting it up around the Sakir International Circuit, but I'm not on my own. I'm George Morgan, and I'm also joined by the Irishman, Jack Kinnan. Jack, how are you?
Yeah, very, really good. Really excited to get going on a new season. It's been a long time in the making, and a really exciting prospect, an exciting new grid. The best grid we've ever had in league racing, I think, arguably. But this is going to be the home of non-F1 esports grids, but I mean, it's an esports style grid. Come on.
Oh, Jack, the excitement is palpable. The live chat has gone berserk in the first few minutes that we've only been live, or the first 15 minutes anyway, since we hit the go live button. But we are here now, waiting to go into Bahrain, folks. And I have to tell you, it's going to be a very spicy one. Let's take a look at those all-important grids that are going to certainly whet our appetites with. Just have a look at this. We've got Nicholas Matteo, Domenico Levecce lining up in the Ferrari team. We're obviously going to go through some of the guys who have who've had to pull out and have new ones replace them. We've also got Fabrizio Donoso, Longe for Alpine as well. Josh Idawu, Barry Burman in the McLaren. Yoni Tormala with Sebastian Job. He's confirmed for the AlphaTauri seat. Unfortunately, he can't be with us tonight because he's suffering with a little bit of COVID. But instead, we have got Dario Yamulo in his stead. Lucas Blakely and Shanaka Clay. Lucas Blakely, of course, really lit this on fire after an incredible pre-season where he won 2 races on the bounce with 2 pole positions in his only 2 PSGL starts. Incredible record. Jana Watmir, of course, the Flying Dutchman, defending PSGL PC champion alongside the machine, Danny Moreno. In Williams, you have got Alvaro Caraton and Michael Romanidis, a full esports pack grid at Williams this season. Freddie Rasmussen alongside Tomek Parajek in the Red Bull livery car. Simon Weigang, who unfortunately isn't here tonight either, is replaced by Thyman Shooter, who is also a Sauber esports driver, alongside Philip Prejnada, a full esports lineup there for Alfa Romeo, with Cedric Tomei and Jake Benham, the all-star, joining him at Haas as well. What a grid we have here, Jack.
Absolutely, yeah. This is really an amazing, amazing grid we've got on this one. It's absolutely one of the best you're going to see out there, and a really exciting prospects in course. Of course, Bahrain this evening, and this is going to be a real test for these drivers, I think. Always a good opening round to gauge the pace.
It certainly is, and that's exactly what we're hoping to see tonight, folks. You might have seen just to the side of me, we have got the pundit predictions. You know, things are going absolutely mad here at PSGL. I can already see the live chat is going berserk at the sight of this grid. It's brilliant to see, guys. I'm glad you're all enjoying it at home. Please let us know. Shout out in the live chat, wherever you're from. Land us in the live chat with your comments as well. On the, as I was saying, on my side, this side, we have got our pundit predictions. Now, ourselves here, obviously at, you've got myself, you've got Jack, as well as Big C, of course, the big boss man of PSGL, not forgetting the one of the coordinators as well, Maku, one of the big cheeses at PSGL as well. We've all gone for predictions for the season and also every race. So each race, you'll see that the pundits are putting their names forward. I've gone for Lucas Blakely after his excellent start to the season. Jack, you've also joined me on that one for today, and we've all selected Yada Watmir for the title, but Connor's gone for Danny Moreno tonight in the other Mercedes seat, with Maku opting for Fabrizio Donoso tonight. Interesting picks across the grid.
Yeah, absolutely. I think myself and yourself, George, we've seen kind of the form, I suppose, in the social races. That's why I've opted for Lucas Blakely. He was just so impressive.
I said it.
No, I thought of it first. There was an argument between the both of us.
Yeah, I said it first, folks. I said it first. Let it go down in history and written as I said it first. Jack just copied me, that was all. But yeah, Jack.
Absolutely not. I thought it first. Therefore, I win.
Oh, honestly, no. Well, I got to say, I think we can feel quietly confident. Blakely has been in absolutely flying form, obviously, since pre-season. And naturally, you'd fully expect him to carry it over, certainly in the first race of the season, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. But we got to remember that the social races were all done on a fixed setup. Now, the drivers have got some more, I suppose, experience, more sweat put in, and now setups become a major factor in this one as well. So maybe we'll see a change in the form book. We'll have to wait and see in that one. But we've all gone, every single one of us in our title predictions have gone for Jarno Wotmir, and I don't think that's really a surprise because he's won every single championship he competed in F1 2020. So it's only fair, I think, that we can expect that form to carry on. But I don't know. I think there was some surprises in the social races. Maybe there'll be some surprises in this championship. But cars on track, George. It's all started now. Q1 underway for the first race of the season.
So, folks, let's light up the live chat for a minute. Are you ready to go over to the race screen? Please land your comments below. Are you ready? I want to hear from you. I also want to hear what your pole position and race predictions are for tonight, folks. Are you ready to go here tonight? Come on, let's light this live chat up, folks. Let's hit it up. Come on. Let's get it going. No excuses. I want to see it lit up. Here we go. I see plenty of yeses. That's good enough for me. Here we are, folks. We are here live. The screen will update shortly. Bear with me. It will come. I assure you. Come on. You're showing a black screen currently. We're back. We're back live. We got a live feed. Here we go. Cedric Tomei out on track now. And as you can see, the old Fable tradition, Jack. Intermediate tyres for the first run.
Some things never change across the game. This is the classic Q1 strategy with going out on the intermediate tyres to save a set of dry salts, just to get a banker lap in, just to get a feel for the get a feel for the track. But some things will never change. These drivers will always try everything, and that is the reason for using those intermediates, just saving a set of dries. Why use a set of dries when you could just use a set of intermediate tyres and just save yourself an extra set for later on? But Q1, of course, the main important thing is just being in the top 15. The bottom 5, of course, getting knocked out, and then Q2, Q3 knockout style format as always. Q3 is where everything comes to a head, the battle for pole. But Q2 also very important, with the drivers setting the drivers in the top 10 will have to start on the tyre that they set their fastest time on. But Q1 is all about not being in the bottom 5. Don't expect the result to be reflective of what Q3 will be like, but I think it's just a chance to see and go through who we've got on the grid tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Cedric Tomei, he's going to cross the line now on his intermediate tyres. Obviously, none of them have yet to come out on the softer compound, or you'd expect the proper compound. Lucas Blakely, let's take a good look at this man, because, of course, he is one to watch for this coming season, without a shadow of a doubt. Do apologise there, folks. We've had a little bit of a nudge in the menu screen. Interesting stuff. But yeah, there you could see Lucas Blakely out on track in the Aston Martin, the familiar green livery that I have to say has been really spicy in real Formula 1. Of course, Sebastian Vettel unfortunately having that podium stripped away from him at Hungary, but I have to say it's been impressive to see their rise currently this season. They're on a bit of a journey of certainly progression, but certainly Lucas Blakely has really been hitting things where it hurts right now. After a successful pre-season, he certainly looks like a very, very formidable character heading into next season, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I think we've all said it. This is this is a new Lucas Blakely who we're looking at right now. Just obviously he had his big knocks in the previous F1 Esports season, but he just seems now to be comfortable, ready and raring to go, and double victory in the social races, 2 poles as well. He's carrying so much confidence and momentum into this season. He is the underdog, heading into this one. The man who could take the fight potentially to Jarno Wotmir, but essentially any one of these guys could take the fight to Jarno Wotmir. And it'd be interesting to see how that goes. Of course, Philip Preschnader going to the top of the standings on those intermediate runs, 43.4, and Thymen Schuter goes in front of him. Thymen, of course, filling in for Simon Weigang tonight at Alfa Romeo, but perfect stand-in, of course, for, with Thymen Schuter. Really good lineup tonight with those two at the helm of those Alfa Romeos, but really every single one of these teams is a powerhouse lineup, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, they're all taking PSGL seriously, folks. Obviously, Sauber have enjoyed certainly a very busy pre-season. They obviously announced Philip Preschnader alongside alongside Simon Weigang as well. Thymen Schuter making up the rest of that triple squadron. And certainly Thymen Schuter, this is such a big season for him, isn't it, Jack? Because he wants to get his feet under the table, get himself going, get some positive results in the bag, because it could mean everything come to the esports season.
Absolutely, it could. Yeah, it's all about PSGL here. We're getting an idea of the form heading into the F1 esports season, of course, and it's really a perfect opportunity for these guys to go up against the very best in the business in this series, of course. First man, it seems to me, who's on a timed run on the set of dry tires is Dario Yamulo in the Alpha Tauri. He's out on the track right now on the set of soft compound tires, and of course he's also a stand-in this week, filling in for Sebastian Job. Of course, is recovering from COVID. We send our best to Sebastian, but Dario obviously very experienced at PSGL as well. Perfect stand-in, and we will get in just a few moments the first benchmark time in Q1.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Dario Yamulo now coming around the final sector, and he's going to land, obviously, the first time on the board, well, the first proper time on the board on the soft compounded tyres. Let's see what this man can do. Obviously, the Alpha Tauri team have enjoyed a pretty relentless season themselves. Obviously, Pierre Gasly has been pretty much doing all the business. Of course, Yuki Tsunoda, a young up-and-comer, and has certainly pulled off a couple of decent performances too. And no doubt Dario Yamulo has certainly got a point to prove himself. DRS opens up now for that man in the Italian team, and that's a 125.049, a little bit more representative. Not a bad time either to get himself started, but with plenty of time left in Q1, we will be seeing a lot more of those, I'm sure.
Absolutely, yeah, and the other man who's out on a time lap at the moment on a set of dries, except the medium compound tyres, is Domenico Lovecce, the Italian in the Italian team this season, in the Ferrari. Of course, we saw Lovecce in Red Bull last season, but now he's over in Ferrari, and let's see how he's going to get on with teammate Nicholas Matteo, who is also in that Ferrari seat as well. That Red Bull lineup, of course, completely new this season, with Tomasz Paradzic moving from McLaren within PSGL over to Red Bull, alongside Freddie Rasmussen, who is on the grid for this season as well. And I don't think, George, we haven't really seen the best of Freddie Rasmussen. Has had a kind of rough social races, so really don't know how this is going to go with Freddie. We know how rapid he is, but haven't quite seen the form from him just yet.
No, he tends to play his cards very close to his chest, of course, but he's a relentless character, Formula E Accelerate champion, of course, so certainly a very, very hard taskmaster out on track as Domenico Lovecce decides to come into the pit lane. Obviously, an installation lap of sorts on the mediums, and that will certainly set the bar for him, at least for now, so he will eventually, I'd imagine, go out on a soft compounded tyre. Speaking of Red Bull, here's Tomasz Paradzic. He's driving that car today alongside Rasmussen, of course, for the rest of this season. Those two making a very tremendous partnership between those two. Very aggressive sorts behind the wheel. Exceptional drivers, exceptional talents. And Tomek himself really gave Jarno a hard time in pre-season, didn't he?
Yeah, you got to think back to Silverstone, that incredible fight the two of them had. And Tomek really impressed right there. He's backed out of his lap on this occasion, but Tomek has got some serious pace in his back pocket, so to speak. So great to see Tomek here, and he's going to be obviously alongside a very, very rapid teammate. Tomek, of course, rapid himself, but Freddie Rasmussen, the man who took the fight to Jarno Watmir in the F1 Esports Championship last season as well. So a big kind of, I suppose, a little bit of pressure on his shoulders, Tomek, but he's got obviously plenty of experience to back all that up as well. Going to move to another team who's obviously looking really, really good, of course. We've got Williams, Alvaro Caraton, the ever-present Spaniard who always seems to be up at the front fighting, alongside a young teammate who's out on track right now, Michael Romanidis, and we know how quick Michael is. Still young, but still rapid.
Yeah, definitely. And we didn't get to see him last season. We did commentate on him quite a while ago, Jack, when we were at the ORL League. But he's obviously come here to PSGL nowadays and trying his, well, certainly going to try and match his wits against the top tier of racing. Michael Romanidis himself, phenomenal driver, of course, and has been under the Williams banner now for quite a long time. He's been part of the academy team, you know, essentially trying to develop his skills. And it's interesting now that Williams are starting to let him loose now against these top tier drivers. They must see something in him. He's definitely ready, I think. So let's see if he can do is, well, certainly match what they can possess too, or certainly if he can unleash what he possesses. Without a shadow of a doubt, he is a classy sort as he makes his way out into Sector 3 proper now after taking turn 11, heading around turn 12 now. He's got turn 13 that beckons. This one is a very tricky corner. And just remember, when they're going full pelt on their fast laps, of course, they're going to have to judge these to perfection, folks. Rub on the curves. It's so easy to spin. And therefore, you need to take great care when you're taking your car over those parts of the circuit. But nevertheless, I'd firmly expect Michael Romanidis to be a huge... well, certainly a huge presence out there tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, and he's going to be at least trying to prove to everyone else he's a force to be reckoned with. He's going to begin a lap now as he comes down towards turn 1. Prime overtaking opportunity here, looking for the brake marks on the left-hand side, right about the 100, just taking loads of speed to the apex there, gets on the power, gets a little bit of oversteer on the way, and again oversteers on the way through on the exit, so absolutely not as clean as he would have liked from Michael Romanidis. They're still trying to get his eye in here as he heads into sector, at the end of sector number 1, but this car looks like a bit of a handful, George. Lots of oversteer through there as Barry Burman goes to the top, 24.3 for our runner-up last season.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not the only one out on track, though, but a 124.3 is absolutely spectacular. What a way to start for Barry Burman, and this is where the times are really going to start filtering through, folks. We've also got the 2 Mercedes out on track as well, so we will join Jarno Opmeer out on the circuit. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal to see what the Dutchman can do as they now come down towards the final couple of bends here at Bahrain, and certainly as Q1 begins to dawn into the final few minutes of this, well, spectacular session now, as the Black Arrow now a little bit of a twisty rear end there on that Mercedes as he crosses the line, takes P1, an initial burst there from the Flying Dutchman, a 124.192, and trumps Barry Burman by just over a tenth.
Yeah, so first blood early on in Q1 to Jarno Opmeer. Moreno slots to 3rd, just in front of Nicholas Mateo, and Burman slotted between the Mercedes. That's a very common sight from what we saw last season, early stages in Q1, so lots of time left. We still have yet to see times from the Alpines. Donoso's about to cross the line now, winner of the opening social race, and he goes to 3rd. Good effort from Fabrizio Donoso, and we wait now for the other Alpine, Nicholas Lonke, who slots into 8th place, but it's all about being in the top 15. That's the crucial one. Is Jake Benham, was that Jake up to P4? A mega effort from the Haas, and I think he's certainly an underdog for this season.
Yeah, definitely, I have to say, Jake Benham, the all-star. Jake Benham recently signed by Veloce Esports and really proving why he did just that. I mean, I have to say, pre-season, he was spectacular, battling with the likes of Jarno Opmeer and Danny Moreno, Shanaka Clay as well in pre-season, and already he's come to the table in one of the biggest races of his life to date. Into P4 goes the all-star Jake Benham. Spectacular stuff indeed. We've still got a couple of laps still to come in. Alvaro Caraton out on a quick one, so is Tomek Paragic. There is Caraton now coming around the next right-hander very shortly. The straight after turn 13 is what he'll be faced with next. The Williams team looking to very much follow suit from what George Russell and Nicholas Latifi did, of course, in the last race of Hungary, as they now round the next right-hander now. Well, home straight beckons. What will he get as he crosses the DRS line? It's going to be P7 at 124.496, and just over 0.3 of a second slower than that of Jarno Opmeer. But how about that for the top 2? It's almost like the grand finale again, Jack.
It certainly is, isn't it? Tomek Paradzic into P11, but the interesting things to note, I suppose, right now is Freddie Rasmussen still has yet to register a representative time on the board, as has Yodi Tormala. Cedric Tomei currently out. Shanaka Clay currently out, as is Michael Romanidis. The man on the cusp in P15 is Josh Idawu, but is just half a second covering the 15 drivers up to the front. But that is incredibly close between everybody in the top one. With Jarno Opmeer, Barry Burman, Donoso in 3rd, Benham 4th, and Moreno P5 early phase in Q1. But Jarno straight out of the box with a 24.1 in Q1. That's a bit concerning for the rest of the drivers, I think.
Yeah, a bit of a flexing of the muscles there, I think. Jack the Flying Dutchman not wasting any time and landing a P1 here at this stage in qualifying. Certainly Q1, what a way to start. And if anything, you want to get your opponents thinking, is this guy going to be too much for us? I mean, the Dutchman has proven how good he is, of course. Current PSGL PC champion. The very first, he'll go down in history as the very first PSGL PC champion. And I'm sure he's going to look to make it too as well. But he's got a whole 12 races to get through first before he can be crowned anything such as that. As Tomek Paradzic now around the final couple of bends, cutting the Red Bull, land a steady blow himself. No, it looks like he's coming in, not happy with the lap set. And surely, he's going to run out of time, but he's got to get one more run in, Jack, because those times are going to come down cascadingly, I'd imagine, given the fact that the track is starting to warm up.
Yeah, absolutely. So that nobody is safe at this point. Tomek Paradzic in P11 still certainly not safe, because we've got Michael Romanidis, Shanaka Clay, Cedric Tome, Jolly Tormala and Freddie Rasmussen currently in the drop zone, and they've now bolted on soft compound tyres. So expect some quick times from the Danish driver Freddie Rasmussen, the flying fit of Jolly Tormala, and plenty of others as well. But to be knocked out in Q1, it's not exactly what you want, but in a field this strong, I don't think anybody will hold it against you, considering how close it all is. But now, Freddie Rasmussen needs a representative time on the board. He's not been able to do that, and certainly that 25.7 is nowhere near the pace that we expect from Freddie Rasmussen, and I'm sure we're going to get a proper lap time from him now. But a crucial one as well, Lucas Blakely not exactly out of the woods, P14 for him. Jake Benham's going to retire. He's happy with where he is. He should be safe easily through into Q2. Amazing effort from Jake Benham, and I bolt yourself in for this one. It may just be Q1, but it's just as exciting.
Yeah, strap yourselves in, folks. We are in for one hellacious ride here with just under 2 minutes left in normal time as Filip Prejneda now rounds into the final sector. Can the man, the Slovakian, try and improve on what he's already said? Danny Moreno's retired as well, joining Jake Benham. They're both happy with the times that they have set. Nicholas Matteo has also retired as well, a recent acquisition of Veloce Esports as well. Looks like Filip Prejneda is on a slow lap. Lucas Blakely, let's watch this man, of course, two-time race winner in pre-season. Can he do exactly what he did previously and land a steady, heavy blow on this grid order? The Aston Martin now hightailing down this next straight, heading down towards turn 4. And certainly this man is relentless, the Scottish man. He's going to certainly try and do his damnedest to try and topple Jarno Opmeer here today. And as he makes his way down through towards turns 5, 6, and now 7, the Aston Martin livery is going to want to try and taste top-end order. And you wouldn't count him out to do so, would you, Jack?
No, absolutely not. His personal best in the first sector, just 100th off of Jarno Opmeer, but still definitely a good time if he can just keep it all together. We're going to wait for these times. They'll come thick and fast. He's a 10th of a second up in Sector 1 on his best time. We're waiting to see what his Sector 2 time is going to be. Of course, flicks it into the left-hander now, uses all the curb, gets on the power as early as he possibly can, and now flicks it back to the right-hand side, flat out through the right, and now looking for the curb on the left. Again, a 10th and a bit up on his best. Purple in that sector went to Michael Romanidis, actually. So Michael Romanidis is on a flyer now. Here comes Michael. He should get him out of Q1 here across the start-finish line for the Greek driver to P3 for Michael Romanidis. And we wait now for Lucas Blakely to get himself across the line. This needs to be a good lap. Is it good enough? It certainly is at 24.299. Lucas Blakely is into Q2, and we're waiting now. That drops Tomek Paradzic right onto the cusp, George.
It certainly does. Tomek really needs to look busy. I have to say, does not want to be certainly relegated out of Q1 this early on, or certainly out of qualifying this early on, should I say. Jarno Opmeer, though, already at the top end and currently enjoying himself. He's not looking to go again. He's currently set a 124.192. Of course, that is the top order, at least for now. Frederick Rasmussen, in the meantime, managed to slot himself into P2 as well. So an excellent visit from the Dane, Formula E Accelerate champion. In behind as well, two-time pre-season race winner Lucas Blakely. And further down, Barry Burman. How about that for a top 4, folks? As though we're watching Tomek Paradzic now. Can he put himself on par with Freddie Rasmussen, his teammate? Let's find out. They're coming around the final couple of corners now. The Red Bull, can it give him wings here? The pole looking to do it. Well, certainly what Freddie's just done is he goes across the line. P2, he does snipe his his teammate. A 124.234 puts him on the same row as Jarno, at least for now. If we were talking the end of qualifying overall, what a visit as Karaton snipes him at the death, Jack.
Oh yeah, that is a massive, massive win for those guys. Otmir, Karaton, Parajic and Rasmussen Blakely. And now that ends Q1. Out in Q1, Cedric Tome, Matteo, Idawu, Preshnader and Tormala. But look at that, George. Look who is on the cusp. Danny Moreno by just 8 1,000ths makes it in by the skin of his teeth.
That is absolutely tremendous. I mean, he was lucky. I have to say he was lucky. I mean, it could have gone all so sour for him, but he's managed to just about, hold it in. Certainly Cedric Tome not able to get out of Q1 either. Nicholas Matteo, we've lost Josh Idawu as well. Plenty of cars that have not made it through. Yoni Tormala, of course, in his first season at PSGL at the back of the field. Philip Prejnader not far behind either. Josh Idawu not having the best of first qualifying sessions, but it just goes to show, Jack, when you have got such a staunch level of drivers in this field, you just don't know. You just don't know. It's like real Formula One. Anything can happen. You can lay everything you want on the line. If something doesn't go your way, even the most unlikely person can get eliminated. I mean, I think that's the stark contrast from last season. I think we're now in a situation where qualifying has now become a volcano. Anytime it can reach boiling point.
Certainly could, and less than 0.4 of a second covering everybody. That is crazy close across this one. We're gonna have a quick look at the Q1 results, and you'll see that gap. Look at this. Jarno Otmir quickest in Q1, but have a look at the gap all the way down to P20. It is 0.386 separates everybody. 0.2 down to P15 and into the drop zone. That is as close as you are going to get. But Jarno Otmir 200s, Parajic and Rasmussen within 1/10 of each other. Make that 0.5 of each other, and Blakely 1/10 of a second back. That is mental. 0.3 of a second. I think that's the closest Q1 we've ever had.
I think it is, Jack. We've lost Tome, Matteo, Idawu, Prejnader and Tormala. They will not feature in the next session, folks. But how about that for a first session of qualifying here at PSGL, folks? We've never seen anything quite like it. I mean, Jarno Otmir at top spot, obviously showing all the prowess that we saw from last season, but he's not alone. I mean, how about that from Tomek Parajic to unseat his teammate, Freddie Rasmussen, but then all of a sudden, the apex predator, Alvaro Karaton, out of nowhere, really just spiked the pair of them, and Barry Burmand right on the cusp as well. But those delta times are absolutely unbelievable, Jack. We have not seen anything that close. We didn't see it that close last season. The last season was close, but this is taking it up another notch.
0.3 between everybody.
Phenomenal.
That's 20 drivers we're talking about here, and that is that's just crazy. I think Danny Moreno was definitely sweating a little bit there by just scraping in by 8 1,000ths of a second and knocking, of course, Cedric Tome out. But Jake Benham in the other Haas, he represents Haas in Q2 now for himself. So great effort from him. Of course, new signing by Veloce, and he's now part of the Haas team in PSGL. But now Q2, of course, all about what you set your fastest time on, who's going to try what strategy, etc., etc. So we'll have to wait to see what happens there. But both Mercedes getting through, just one AlphaTauri through, both Aston Martins of Shanika Clay and Lucas Blakely making it through. Of course, both the Alpines of Longue and Donoso, both the Williams of Romanidis and Karaton, and just the singular McLaren of Barry Burma making it way through. Josh Idawu getting knocked out in Q1. Not the start of the season he would have wanted.
No, not at all. We're just watching now Fabrizio Donoso just making his way down through turn 8 now. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for watching here tonight. It's a pleasure to have you all here. We obviously want to hear your comments if you want to light up the live chat. It's been absolutely phenomenal to bring PSGL back for this coming season. Just want to say as well, in the past month, 30 days, we have had no less than 1,250 subscribers alone in a single month month, folks. 30 days, 1,250. You guys are absolutely out of this world. We're breaking records time after time here at PSGL, and it's an absolute pleasure to have you all with us. League Racing has certainly been stepped up another level. These guys on track are doing it. You guys at home especially are doing it, and hopefully we can bring you a stream that you guys can enjoy as well. We're now watching Fabrizio Donoso round in the final couple of bends now. You can see now as they hightail their way through, Donoso will be the first to cross the line and get things underway, and I'm delighted to announce we've broken 1,000 viewers, folks. Welcome to PSGL.
We haven't even got the race started yet. It's Q2, guys. Calm down as we come through. This is crazy. We never expected this, but welcome to everybody if you're new. This is basically F1 Esports without the F1 sponsorship right here, and we're glad that you're all a part of it in this late phase of Q2, early phase of Q2. Donoso, the first man out on the circuit, and he was the winner of the social race in Silverstone. Don't forget, with that Alpine 1-2 to kickstart things, followed by Blakely and Blakely, of course, in the following two races. So we'll see now what Donoso is able to do. He impressed us in the opening race, but he's always thereabouts, Fabrizio Donoso, and seems to me now he's got, as well as Lucas Blakely, a little bit more revitalised, looking really, really handy heading into this season. And Longe and Donoso, of course, really, really fantastic team lineup. And of course, now with the young Patrick Sipos with them, Alpine look pretty good for this season.
Yeah, just a little note on Patrick Sipos. Obviously, he is a reserve in this season's of racing at PSGL. But remember, Jack, how about that pole position that he secured at Britain? It was absolutely brilliant. And naturally, now his teammate looks to set the first lap here in this session. Here comes Fabrizio Donoso now across the DRS line. Makes his way across the start-finish line. That's a 125.1. Not a bad showing at the very start. That'll be a good banker for him. But naturally, I know we've all seen quicker. Jake Benham making his way around turn 4 further down. Danny Moreno also out on track. Plenty of drivers looking to set the pace here as now Danny Moreno up to cross the line. Can he land a big one? Not this time. He's going out again. I think that was an invalidation. A 124.4 invalidated. So nevertheless, very quick by the machine, Jack.
Yeah, I think that was quite a steady lap from Donoso rather than a quick lap. He's about a second off what Jarno did in Q1. So Donoso taking it very easy, probably just not trying to take too much life out of the tyres. So just definitely a banker, not exactly a quick banker, but it's a banker nonetheless. So just to put it into perspective, he'd have been out in Q1 had he set that lap.
Yeah,
so
definitely
yeah, so just obviously now he's just making sure you don't want to of course go too quick too early on in Q2. You just want to get an idea for the conditions and all that kind of stuff as well. Couple of drivers, one driver out on the circuit. There's 24/7 from Simon Schutter, a little bit better from his banker attempts in the Alfa Romeo. Just one driver out on the medium tyres, and that is Domenico Lavecce, and he's already put a lap on those. Seems to have invalidated the first run, so doesn't want to be pushing get much life out of the mediums. He went out on the mediums for a lap in Q1. He's doing the same thing in Q2. So if anybody manages to sneak into the top 10 on the mediums, it'll obviously be good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Barry Burman now making his way around the final sector. There you can see him round in the next one, just taking it steady. And 106 to boot out of Sector 2, heading down Sector 3 now. And as he now makes his way down towards turns 14 and 15, this will naturally be his first time on the board in Q2. And a perfect way to start, obviously. You can gauge yourself against the rest of the field and obviously set one as he is going to come into the pit lane not happy with obviously the time set. So he's going to come in, get a fresh set of boots on, and then go out once again. Domenico Lavecce, as you said, is invalidated. We got a few others though out on track looking to try and land blows. Tomek Paragic is out on an outlap too, as well as Nicholas Longe, who have yet to have an onboard of yet. Further down as well, Lucas Blakely, as we discussed earlier on, who set a nice lap in Q1. And both Aston Martins are out on track too, with Shanaka Clay, his teammate, joining him out on the circuit as we now watch Lucas Blakely round through the ending of Sector 1 into Sector 2 proper, round turn 8 now. And that green Aston Martin, I'm sure, will be looking to follow suit exactly from what he did in Q1 and aim to get into Q3.
Yep, that's the aim for all of these guys, to get themselves into Q3, but if they can get themselves in on the alternate compounded tyre, that'll obviously help them. Tomek Paragic begins his lap now. He's opted to try a go on the medium tyre as well, as has Dario Yamulo. He's out on a lap as well. So be interested to see now what the pace deficit is compared with the soft compound tyre, and it obviously will be slower, but the deficit, we'll have to work out what the deficit is going to be, and whether it is worth it trying to get in on the medium compound tyre and suffer the deficit early on in the race. But of course, it will come back to you later on in the race as well. It's always trying to work out the best course of action, because it's hard enough to get your way into the top 10 on an offset compound of tyres. It's going to take a mega effort on the tyres to do that if everybody else, of course, opts for softs. But we could see a situation where everybody opts for the medium tyres that won't make a difference anyway.
No, not at all. Lucas Blakey now crossing the line to start his first lap here in Q2. So as he makes his way down towards turn 1, and he's just going to steady himself, making his way through those bends. Of course, so easy to lose it out of turn 3. We've seen it a couple of times. Turn 4 is also pretty relentless as he now bombs down the straight now with DRS open. Turn 4 is next, and takes a lot of the curb there to try and get an ease of access heading into the next series of lefts and rights. And this, of course, as he makes his way into turns 5, 6, and now 7, down in towards turn 8. And once again, you just want to ease it around this particular bend as he now powers his way out now, back on the throttle, and round down towards turn 10. And naturally around the sandy circuit of Bahrain, it can be so easy to lose traction. There's a flick of the rear there, and I do believe he might be on older tyres, Jack, because he's losing the rear slightly, maybe just looking to set an initial lap as Longay goes into P1.
Yeah, 24.625 for Nicholas Longate. That's his first effort on the board. Just keeping an eye on the sector times, of course, using the TAS system, of course, wonderful piece of software. But purple first sector now is Jarno Wotmere on the soft compound tyres. He's out on his first attempt, 27.2 in the first sector, which is actually eclipsed by none other than Fabrizio Donoso, who's now going a little bit quicker in that first sector, not by much, but he holds now the fastest first sector of anybody. So just now beginning to see the pace pick up just a small bit, but it's all about being in that top 10 and not taking too much life out of those tyres. That'll translate into you having to box earlier in the race.
No, absolutely. Jarno Wotmere now as he rounds the final couple of bends. Michael Romanidis takes P1 for the meanwhile. Good start though from him. Freddie Rasmussen with a 124.391. In comes the Flying Dutchman at 124.184, and a pretty much carbon copy of what he did in Q1. That is sensational by the Dutchman, and he's landed himself right on top spot. What a way to do it, Jack.
Absolutely, but watch Donoso, George. Here he comes, purple. Let's see what Donoso does across the line. That's a 24.0 for Fabrizio Donoso. Hello, as he comes across the line. Fastest of anybody so far, quicker than Q1, and that is what he is capable of there.
Yeah, landing blow for blow here in Q2. Sensational stuff to see these times filtering through now. Donoso up into P1. Jarno Wotmere in P2. Further down, Freddie Rasmussen, who landed that lap time just before Wotmere did his. Alvaro Caraton, the apex predator, making his way around the next right-hander now. He's got the straight after turn 13. He's then got 14 and 15 to negotiate himself. The Williams trying his damnedest to try and hang on. Can Caraton join the party? Remember in Q1 where he toppled the best of them, got himself onto P2 on the grid as he now rounds through. DRS opening up now for the Spaniard. Up into P7. Not quite enough, but great work on medium tyres nonetheless. Gets himself going at 125.3. That will be risky. Certainly, I'd imagine there'll be a venture onto the softs later on.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's just gauging whether it's going to be enough or not. So at the moment, it doesn't look like it. Those mediums just don't have the pace in them to get their way through. A couple of times coming up on the board now as well. Domenico Levecce is out on a time lap right now, 27.4 in the first sector. Quite a steady one for the Italian, 27.4 compared to a 27.1 for Fabrizio Donoso. So not exactly a perfect lap from the Italian, 36.4, 4/10 of a second down on Fabrizio Donoso, perhaps on a U set here, Domenico Levecce, but it may be just still trying to get his eye and trying to work out what the best course of action around this circuit is as he comes now. He's going to back out of that lap, I think, wisely, and it was definitely not going to be enough to topple into the top 10 at the very least, or even challenge, really. So he's going to come in, reset, new set of boots, and try again. But plenty of drivers still yet to have set a time on the board. Jake Benham being at one, Moreno, Yamula, Burman, Levecce, Clay and Blakely. They're all pinning their hopes on one single Q2 run. I wonder, is that smart?
No, absolutely. And here's another man we have got out on track. It's Jake Benham, the All-Star, who has just been recently signed, as we discussed, to Veloce. And what a Q1 he had as well. Let's have a look at the rapid pace of this young man, certainly as he rounds towards turn 1 here this time. Of course, Haas looking to have a good season with this man under their belt. Certainly Cedric Tomei, his teammate as well. Two very formidable characters out on track. Jake Benham only starting his esports career, really. Given the fact that Veloce have signed him, they certainly can see a bright future for this man as he rounds turn 4 now. Very soon he will tackle then turns 5, 6 and 7, and Haas will be looking to certainly net a positive time on the board. Almost slides into that left-hander, heading into out of turn 7 into turn 8 now, just gripping the apex, doing his best. Heading now down through towards turn 9 and down towards turn 10. Here comes the Haas now, just cruising, just gently nurturing the car around the corner, feathering the throttle just a little bit. Down the straight now, down towards turn 11, and very shortly he's going to have to sort of hug the entry a little bit and just take a little bit of the curb just to swallow it slightly, give himself a better angle, heading up through turn 12, up towards turn 13 now. Just take it steady around the next right-hander. Then he's got a little bit of a straight to take, which is the main straight in sector 3, leading down towards turn 14 and 15, where DRS will become available. The Haas now rounding the final corner. What can the All-Star Jake Benham do here upon this grid with only 2 minutes left to go? Is he invalidated, Jack?
Yeah, invalidated at the last corner. Jake Benham was on for an absolute flyer of a lap there to slot himself between Rasmussen and Robinidis, but he ran wide in the last corner. He's invalidated that lap. That's not what he needed. He will not have time to go out again, George. I think that could be him out of Q2 with that small mistake.
Yeah, that is devastating for Jake Benham. Everything was going so well. It was a grandiose first visit for the All-Star, but not this time. He's currently in P9 with no time set, so he's extremely vulnerable at this moment in time. There you can see Simon Shooter, though, the man who came in just to cover Simon Weigang as he rounds turn 10, heading down towards turn 11. In comes that man, Simon Shooter. Very shortly going to head into sector 3 proper, and I'm sure he'll be looking to try and strike it in position, certainly give himself lots to look forward to. Certainly the Sauber team will be looking on with great anticipation to see what their man can do as he rounds the next right-hander now, cruising around turn 13 and now down the stretch now towards the DRS detection zone just before turn 14. Here comes Simon Shooter. He's going to shoot for the stars this time, surely, and aim for the top end as he rounds the final couple of bends. Simon Shooter, what can we do? DRS opens up across the line. P3 is what he gets. A 124.3, competitive, but he's right in the midst of the forest here. Plenty of cars can go out there and challenge. It's going to be hot right towards the end, Jack.
Absolutely, yeah. Freddie Rasmussen was on for a good time there, but he's decided to back out of his lap. He was on a good first sector, just a couple of thousandths off of the fastest one of Fabrizio Donoso, but no way that he's going to be able to do that now. Shanika Clay, he's on a good lap now as well. Good first sector at 27.259. Blakely at 27.229. So the Aston Martins looking pretty quick right now, but purple first sector for none other than Danny Moreno. He needs something here. Purple first sector for the Spaniard, just a couple of hundredths quicker than Fabrizio Donoso, so plenty of times about to come in, crucial times to get themselves into the top 10. Donoso and Otmir should be safe. Checkered flag drops, they will not get another time in, but all focus now on the Aston Martins and the Mercedes, and as well Barry Burman. Remember, he's currently out of Q2 at the moment, down towards the line. Shanika Clay in the Aston Martin, what can he do? Can he get himself into Q2, into Q3 with this lap? Yes, P7 for the moment. Lucas Blakely now is heading towards the last corner right now, looking pretty good so far. Needs a clean last corner here. 36.0. He gets in the middle sector. Here comes Blakely. Can he get himself into Q3 with this lap? Yes, he can. A P2 for Lucas Blakely and goes quicker than Jarno Watmir. But all focus on Moreno. Really good first sector, really good middle sector. And how's that? 24.010. Welcome back, Danny Moreno. And that puts Caraton on the cusp, and he's backed out of his lap, George.
Yes, Caraton is on the bubble and he's out, Jack. He's into P11. Not a great ending to qualifying for Caraton, the Apex Predator, lying in a very vulnerable state. Nicholas Longate's retired. He's on the bubble as well. Barry Burman around the final couple of bends. What can the man who fought Otmir for the title do this time? Comes down across the line. Barry Burman, P13 only. He's out. The Iranian is out. He cannot get into Q3, but the machine, Danny Moreno, struck while it was hot at 124.010. Topples Fabrizio Fabrizio Donoso out of P1. The Spaniard is back. The machine is back.
Wow, what an upset. Barry Burmand is out in Q2 with that, and that is a massive shock to the system. He went purple in the first sector by the looks of it, and just the middle sector, I think he had a massive error, George. I think he lost 0.6 of a second in the middle sector, so a mistake from Barry Burmand in the middle sector sees him out in Q2, so he would have made it in, but I think he's made a crucial error. 36.7 in the middle sector has cost him a place in Q3. But how about that? Danny Moreno on the top with one single run in Q2. Donoso second, Blakely in third, Romanidis in P4, and Otmir P5. That's a shock. Caraton out, but you know Michael Romanidis gets himself to Q3.
Yeah, absolutely tremendous stuff. Romanidis, first visit in real league conditions here at PSGL, gets himself into Q3. How about that? P4 for that man in the Williams. But Danny Moreno, the Spaniard, the machine, strikes gold in P1 for Q2, and will move into Q3 without a shadow of a doubt. Fabrizio Donoso in P2 also goes through with Blakely as well after a great lap once again. Moves himself into the next session. Romanidis, Jarno Otmir, of course, as well. Tomek Parajek, Thyman Shooter, Freddie Rasmussen as well. Domenico Lavecce, Nicolas Longue just manages to get through. He looked like he was on the bubble, but managed to scrape it. Shanaka Clay, Caraton, Burroman, Yamulo, Jake Benham, all out in Q2, folks. But what a way to finish. Danny Moreno, I have to say, Connor would be delighted. As you can see, folks, he's tipped that man for the win today.
Yeah, he knows something we don't, does Connor, and I'm calling that it's rigged at this point. But listen, really good effort from Danny Moreno, and it's really, really something to see. Really nice to see him back on the top with that effort in Q2, and we're heading to Q3 in just a moment's time as well. And of course, the people in the chat very kindly pointing out something that Barry and Alvaro could have been going for, George, is that all-important P11 for the alternate strategy, but we're not able to do it. So Shanaka Clay has that nice P11, which of course gives him free tyre choice. Caraton and Burmand on the alternate strategy as well. So all is not lost for them, but now it's the shootout for pole in the first race of PSGL. And I don't really know who's going to get. I couldn't call it at this point, but Donoso and Longue, both Alpines, both Mercedes, both Red Bulls, and then the lone Aston Martin of Lucas Blakely, Thyman Shooter in there as well. And a hat tip to Domenico Lavecce as well, George. Really good effort to get into Q3.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to say, Roy, you beat me to it. He's already put his predictions through. He's got Jarno for P1, Lucas P2, Danny for P3. But I want to hear you, folks. I want to hear you in the live chat. I'll see you in the live chat. Who do you think is going to get pole position in this Q3? And obviously, for the start of the race, it's coming up very, very shortly. We want to hear from you. Smash it in the live chat. Who is going to take pole in this session? It's going to be tremendous. We're looking forward to seeing the times cascade inwards. I'm looking here now. Romanidis in the live chat says Kyrios. We've got Wesjo. Jarno's got this. Fab says Valtteri Vertinen. There we've got Goatified Rat. Blakely Pole. Clapperstein says Jarno. Jarno from Freak Michael. I can't read them all. They're all flying through. You guys are crazy. Danny Moreno says Leon. Dion. I'm seeing a lot of Jarnos in here. Danny's as well. Blakely. Jarno Poggers. Moreno. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff, folks. Keep them lighting. Keep them lighting up as we now move in to the next session. As you can see, the cars there beginning to venture out onto the circuit. Tomek Parajek, one of the first to venture out onto the track, along with Thyman Shooter. Jack, what are your thoughts heading into the final session?
Well, I mean, this is going to be one of the tightest shootouts for pole you're going to see, because the top three in Q2 were separated by under a tenth of a second, all on a 24.0. Will we see a 23 in this session? Is it possible? We'll have to wait and see in due course. But just be keeping an eye, and our PSGL Ted Kravitz, i.e. Big C himself, has pointed out that Barry was going for the alternate strategy on the mediums to soft strategy. So that's why a lot of them, of course, would have probably backed out on that lap. So Barry could have got into Q3 if he wanted, but didn't quite get the P11 he was aiming for. So the alternate strategy for Barry and for Alvaro, and as well as Jake, but of course he wanted to get himself into Q3. Would have done it, but that invalidation on the last corner. Yeah. Which is obviously going to be a big thing as well. But Tomek Parajek, the first man out on a time lap.
Yeah, he is indeed, just winding himself through the latter stages of Sector 1 into Sector 2 now, around turn 8. And I just want to say, Jack, just touching what you just said, I think we should commission to have Big C's name changed to Connor Kravitz. I think that's probably the way forward. So we can take it over to Mr. Kravitz sometimes in the pit lane. Thoughts in the live chat as well, folks, if you agree with that. But we're now watching Tomek Paragic now make his way down the straight, heading into what will be turn 11. And very shortly be making his way through turn 12 and very shortly turn 13. And certainly Tomek is going to want to try and land something serious here in the early stages of qualifying. This is where the mind games come into play, folks. Obviously, they keep each other guessing with some of the times that they're filtering out. But you can already see that Tomek is pushing here in the early stages of Q3, looking to set a good lap to get things underway. The Red Bull, can he land it? That is the question. And certainly himself and Freddie Rasmussen, we said it before, both of them sensational as a pairing at 124.673. Not a bad place to start, but like we said before, folks, we expect early 124s at least from this field, but Tomek, I'm sure, will be happy with that as a banker.
Yeah, all important to get a banker in and just make sure you've got a time on the board. That was definitely not a push lap from Tomek Paragic. 24.6, considering he managed to do a low 24, he's well capable of going quicker than that. Possibly a new set of softs on the car as well, so the tyres from Q. Well, actually, you probably wouldn't want to use that set because those are the tyres you'd be setting you're starting the race on. So he's just going to be making sure he gets a time on the board as well as every one of these guys. So don't expect the first Q3 times to be the ones that'll be for pole. But considering that Domenico Lavecchia has decided he wants to do a run on the medium compound tyre, so that's definitely going to be a run that he wants to complete, but he's actually managed to invalidate that by understeering straight off the roads. That's not what you want to be doing on your banker run as well. Simon Schutte about to put a banker lap in as well. 24.808 for him in that opening effort. So just making sure everyone gets times on the board, gets themselves a clean run. But currently the purple sector of the banker laps is by Lucas Blakely at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's not alone. No, Jarno Opmeer is out too. Just have a look and see where Lucas is right now. He's making his way around turn 10. We're going to go back with Jarno Opmeer, who's now heading into Sector 3 proper now. He's just about to head through turn 12 and very shortly turn 13. And as he now tries to just urge the car around this next right-hander, he's then got to think about this straight that beckons now into the DRS detection zone just before turn 14. The black arrow that's going to look to try and score top spot, at least from the get-go. Make the drivers think a little bit. That's the strategy. The Dutchman relentlessly in this season, I'm sure, be looking to try and retake his title. DRS opens up. P1, he lands on 124.176. That's a nice banker, Mr. Opmeer. A 124.176 is the time to beat right now. Lucas Blakely follows suit there into P2 at 124.491. Still a long way to go though, folks, but these times, they're hotting up.
They really are, yeah. Opening effort at 24.1 for Jarno Opmeer, but really good middle sector from Danny Moreno. Purple in the middle, not quite on it in sector number 1, but it'll certainly be a great effort nonetheless. Here comes Moreno, and he goes to second, 24.182. Look at that, how close the two of them are. 6/1000ths separates the Mercs, and their banker runs are 24.1s. Rasmussen 24.3. But, well, this is going to be something else to watch, I think, this pole shootout.
It certainly is, Jack. Absolutely. Michael Romanidis in P7, 124.773. Tomek Paragic now has moved all the way down. Remember, he was the first man to hit the top end proper. And unfortunately, he is now down into P6. That just goes to show how much can change, folks, in a matter of moments. Jarno Opmeer, who's now currently in P1, enjoying the fruits of his labours here at 124.176. Incredible stuff indeed from the Dutchman. And you firmly expect him to do exactly the same again. We've only got 5 minutes left to go now, folks. Squeaky bum time is upon us here at PSGL, here in Q3. Please land your comments in the live chat. Who's getting pole position here in qualifying in Q3? I have to say, folks, it's going to be a corker.
It certainly is, and I'm keeping an eye on all the times as well. Freddie Rasmussen up on both of his times. Not purple, but on a personal best nonetheless. But I reckon he may dive into the pit lane with this lap if any form is anything to go by. Actually invalidated in the last corner anyway, so Rasmussen comes into pit lane now, and now we'll of course be lining up the final runs of Q3 in this phase. But it is a Merc 1-2. Opmeer, Moreno, Rasmussen, Longe and Blakely are your top 5, but we know Moreno is capable of a 24.0. He set the pace in Q2. They're currently slower than they were in Q2, but now expect absolute flat-out laps in this last phase of Q3.
Yeah, absolutely. Donoso just coming into the pit lane as well. So it's the calm now, folks, before the storm, the prerequisite storm that we have here at PSGL when we know that Q3 is starting to verge onto the final few minutes. This is where the drivers take a little breather, get ready for the final lap in this qualifying session. This is the all-important one, folks. This is what decides who's going to take pole. Jarno Opmeer and Danny Moreno doing absolutely Mercedes-fabled things currently. Jarno currently on top spot, Danny Moreno in P2, Freddie Rasmussen in P3. I have to say, Jack, that is a mouth-watering top order. Just look at it. Opmeer, Moreno, Rasmussen, Longe, Blakely, Paradzic, Romanidis, Shooter, Donoso and Lecce. How about that for an absolutely sensational top 10? And Jack, just to make things better, we've just hit 2,000 live viewers, man.
What is this? what are you doing? This is qualifying, guys. 2,000 live viewers, another record broken, and we haven't even got to the first race yet. That's crazy. I mean, we're sat here in like total awe. We get a chance to commentate over the best drivers in the world outside of F1 esports, and League Racing is getting this kind of viewership. Just crazy. Thank you all so much. And now begins the fun. The pole shootout in round 1.
Jack, I cannot bear... Well, I'm looking through the tips of my fingers, my good man. It is absolutely sensational stuff. And I want to thank everyone at home, all the audience, for supporting PSGL tonight. It's been absolutely sensational. I would like to thank every single one of you for tuning in, supporting League Racing, supporting PSGL. You guys are absolute magic, each and every single one of you. As we're now watching Jarno Opmeer now head down through towards turn 4. Looking further down as well, you can see Danny Moreno. He's waiting to come out. Lucas Blakely out on track, wasting no time. Tomek Paradzic as well out on track. Fabrizio Donoso is leading them all around as he makes his way around turn 8. Coming down now towards turn 9 and 10, Jack. I want to hear from you, Jack, now. Tips for P1. Who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, I think going off what I've seen so far, I reckon this is going to be a Danny Moreno pole position. I'm calling it right now. Merck 1-2, but Moreno's going to get the job done. As we wait now for the last laps, you can see them just doing classic strats. We've seen this before, of just revving the engine and burning off as much excess fuel as they can, going as slowly as they can, revving it in first and second gear to burn off that fuel. And this is going to be a sensational opening effort in this first qualifying session of the season. But the first man who's going to launch onto the pole shootout lap is Fabrizio Donoso, and he's a real tip for pole as well.
Yeah, he certainly is. Jarno Opmeer, you can't count him out. Lucas Blakely, you can't count him out. You can't count any of these out, folks, certainly, as Donoso makes his way down towards turn 1. The Alpine, I've got to say, the Alpine team have been very, very good this season. Certainly, well, the start of pre-season anyway, they were absolutely superb. Ben's certainly Sipos, Spence Sipos, of course, or Patrick Sipos, not Ben Sipos, Patrick Sipos was the man to watch in pre-season after that splendid P1 effort in qualifying at the British Grand Prix. But Fabrizio Donoso took victory in that actual race, so he has got PSGL form, Jack, and certainly you would favour him actually to have a good go at this P1 here as he now rounds the next right-hander at turn 8. Now the Alpine now bombing its way down through towards turn 9 and turn 10. Now this is important for Donoso, needs to make sure he can topple those at the top end now. The Alpine bursting out now of turn 10, hammering down with DRS opened up. He will try and light things up heading around turn 11 as he now rounds it through, brushes the curbs on the inset, gives himself a nice access route out of turn 12 and turn 13 shortly as they round the next right-hander now and hightailing around this very tricky right. Once again just nurses it through the curbs here, can very easily lose it, but he's okay. Heading down now the straight towards turn 14. Fabrizio Donoso Delgado coming down into 14 and now 15. DRS activation point has lit up for him here as he's about to cross the DRS line, across the start-finish line. Donoso hits a P1 with a 123.928 and he says, come and get it. Beat that one, folks.
Hyman Shooter to the front row as well. Look out for these laps now. Here comes Paradzic. He's up by a massive amount. Here comes the Red Bull. He goes to P2 in his Red Bull. We're waiting for the rest now. Lucas Blakely, what can he do? He goes to second, 23.981 for that man as well. Now we wait for Jarno Opmeer. What can he do? He goes to pole 23.874 for Jarno Opmeer. Now we wait for the rest. That is a sensational time from the F1 Esports World Champion. Who else can beat that? Here comes Danny Moreno round the final corner, gets on the power, loses the rear end a small bit, coming towards the line now. DRS open. Is it enough? It's not enough. P4 for Danny Moreno, and we're waiting for the last few hours right now. Purple first sector for none other than Freddie Rasmussen, and he's slightly up on the middle sector as well. Here comes Rasmussen. Can he get himself on the front row alongside Otmir? He gets across the line. No, P6 for him, and Nicholas Longue's on the front row, but it's Jarno Otmir by 3/1000ths of a second on pole next to Nicholas Longue. Brilliant lap.
The Flying Dutchman strikes just like he did last season at 1:23.874 was the time to beat. No one could beat it by a mere 300ths of a second. He beats down Nicholas Longue in P2. Fabrizio Donoso makes it a 2-3 for Alpine in sensational fashion. Lucas Blakely earns himself a P4 in his first official league PSGL start. Tremendous stuff from him. How about that as well for Danny Moreno? Not quite able to get into the top area, but nevertheless, do not count out the machine. Freddie Rasmussen only good enough for P6, Peradzik in P7, Shooter in P8, Mike Romanidis into P9, Domenico Lavecce out and stays in P10. Jack, these are sensational times. I cannot fathom it. The top four all in 123s with Danny Moreno on the 123 bubble.
Wow. What a sensational lap from Jarno Otmir, but also from Longue. 3/1000ths of a second, 0.003 between those two, and Donoso just behind. We said Alpine looked good. Second and third. Blakely's up there for dancing too. Moreno's P5. This is going to be an unbelievable race, but Jarno, first blood in qualifying. One pole position to his name, and he will line up alongside Nicholas Longue. Look at that, 3/1000ths. Donoso P4, half a tenth back. Blakely in P4, just a tenth back. Then Moreno, Rasmussen, Peradzik, Shooter, and Romanidis, with Domenico Lavecce not setting a time in qualifying. But 3/10ths between all of them. But that is an incredible, incredible lineup for this first race. And don't go anywhere. We've hit records this evening, but you haven't even got to the race yet. 50% race coming up. It's Otmir versus Longue, Donoso, Blakely, Moreno, Rasmussen. This is going to be sensational.
Yeah, record-breaking, history-making. Jarno Otmir looking to make it again here at Bahrain. Remember, he won the race last year, folks. Danny Moreno made it a 1-2 for Mercedes. Can they do it again at the Sandy circuit? But this time, Jarno on top spot, folks. I have to say, what a visit. Alpine as well. P2 and P3, Jack Canan. Amazing stuff. Following up a tremendous visit in pre-season as we now wait for the drivers to head out onto a formation lap. But folks, incredible. Did that meet your expectations? Amazing stuff indeed. And we're on the cusp, actually. We're on 2,300 viewers. Incredible. Welcome, everybody, to PSGL. It's a pleasure to have you all here. We're having a whale of a time here, folks. Please make sure you leave a like and a subscribe as well if you want to stay up to date with all the PSGL commentary. To get that all-important notification when we go live, you need to press that subs button to stay up to date, and you can stay in and enjoy the motor racing esports feast that we have here tonight at PSGL. And it's only going to get better and better and better. This is race one in a whole 12 race calendar, folks. The travelling circus will keep on coming. We'll keep on bringing it to you as long as you want it. It's absolutely tremendous. Jarno Otmir, though, Jack, following on from his championship win, it all looks great for the Dutchman right now, doesn't it?
Certainly does. Pole position in the opening race as well, and but both of the Alpines right behind him. He's not quite got Moreno alongside him, but we know Moreno is a rapid starter in this one as well. Having a look at the strategies, of course, in this phase of the Grand Prix before we get underway. Top 10 all on the soft compound tyre. Shanika Clay, Karaton, Burman, Benham, Tome, Matteo, Idaru, and Tormala all on the mediums, but interesting stuff from Yamulo and Preshner opting to go for the hard compound tyres. We've got 3 different strategies happening in this race, possibly even just trying something different going on the hard compound tyre. Not a common choice, the hard compound tyre. Not exactly going to have a lot of grip off the line, but it may as well give something a go here. But I'm kind of licking my lips at the prospect of Otmir and all those guys all in the soft compound tyre, but you've got Karaton and Burman particularly on the alternate strategy. Watch out for them.
Yeah, we're also hearing that Josh Idaru's wheel might be broken, Jack. So not good for the McLaren team, that's for sure. Josh Idawu potentially out of the race with a technical problem. Jarno Watmere, though, leading them round on the formation lap. Obviously, this is the opportunity, folks, to get the tyres warmed up, ready for the start of this Bahrain Grand Prix. We're all looking forward to it. It's absolutely tremendous. Just look at it. Mercedes, Alpine, Aston Martin, Mercedes. That's your top 5 with Frederick Rasmussen, Tomek Paragic, the Red Bull wall in P6 and P7. There you've got Thyman Shooter in P8 as well, with Michael Romanidis in P9, Domenico Lavecce in P10. And that is your top 10 for the off here today. Jack, a final comment from you before we get underway. What are your thoughts? What's your tip?
A tip? I don't think I could give one at this. So early, they're so close. It's literally anybody's game. Alternate strategy will come into effect as well. So really, this is going to be an absolute dogfight to the flag here between the very best of the best, and we're just waiting for Yoli Tormola to line up. But PSGL is back, and we can't wait. Yeah,
here we go, folks. The drivers now lining up for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Please leave a like and a subscribe. Stay up to date with everything here at PSGL. Please leave your comments in the live chat too. We're about to get underway here at the Sakhir International Circuit. Brace yourself, it's going to be a bumpy ride. First light, second light, third light, fourth light, the fifth light. And it's pedal to the metal. Go, 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 go. Here in a brand new PSGL season. Jarno Watmere out of the gates like a shot in behind Nicholas Longue. Holds on to P2 with Danny Moreno. What a start by the machine. Takes the outside line. It works. He gets past Donoso. Amazing start from the machine. Danny Moreno. Fabrizio Donoso. It's not done yet though. Lucas Blakely still in P5. But Danny Moreno holds on to P3. What a maneuver by the machine. He got a rocket of a start. Mercedes moving on up. Watmere in P1, Longue P2, Moreno P3.
I'm not sure exactly what's happened, but Barry's already got a time penalty to add on to his time. 3 seconds added on. Surely that's a mistake there from Barry in that early phase. Amazing start from Watmere. Longue Moreno, always a fast starter. I told you to watch him around the outside of 2 cars in turn 1. He moves up to P3. Now Longue is in a Merc sandwich as they end the first lap, as we now keep an eye on what's going on with the alternate strategy runner. Shanika Clay hanging on to P11. Carroton holds position in P12, so really no real changes across the board. The hard compound runners falling down as to be expected, but Watmere, perfect start from him, a car length clear, and now mistake from Donoso. Blakely gets his way through, understeering straight off the road that goes Fabrizio Donoso, and he's now going to be falling down to P5 now. He's got the 2 Red Bulls behind him of Rasmussen and Paragic, but Watmere, perfect getaway. He gets away in P1 and Longue follows him, but now Moreno is up behind him.
Yeah, that's exactly what he wanted to start, Jack. He sets the fastest time, no shadow of a doubt there, seeing as he's in P1. Lucas Blakely taking the opportunity after Fabrizio Donoso's error, moves himself up into P4. A good confident start by Blakely, but how about Moreno's getaway? That was absolutely superb. Got himself up into P3, and further down as well, Rasmussen and Tomek Paragic holding on to their respective positions. Yoli Tormola has actually moved himself up as well, getting past there of Cedric Tomei as they round through turn 4. The AlphaTauri making a statement, making himself move up the grid order, enjoying himself certainly, and he's got ahead there of the Haas. Dario Yamulo unfortunately down at the back of the grid. Jake Benham has been fighting and tussling in behind Barry Buraman. Shalaka Clay's dropped down a couple of places. Michael Romanidis now in P11 with his teammate Alvaro Carreton just in behind him here. But as we look further up, Watmere still in charge. In behind him, Nicholas Longue. It's all to play for, folks. Technically it's lap 2 of 29. Certainly the Flying Dutchman. He's going to be on a flyer, Jack.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll wait for the timing tower to sort itself out as it just flicks to normal service there. Watmere, Longue, Moreno, Blakely and Donoso with a crucial move there from Carreton to get past Shanika Clay, so now he's the top runner of the alternate strategy, and he's chasing after Michael Romanidis, who's also chasing after the Ferrari of Domenico Lavecce. And remember, DRS enabled at the end of this lap now. He's getting right up underneath the Ferrari there, now getting on the power. We'll be able to get through here. He's obviously going to have the tow, but Lavecce will have the tow off Thyman Shoots at the same time as well, so I don't know if he's going to be quite able to make a move here. No DRS this time, and it will be when we get to the next detection point as well. So Opmir now is at the mercy of Longue at the front of the field as well, as is Moreno behind as well. DRS train will begin to form now. Very tricky place to overtake here at Bahrain. So the DRS train begins.
Yeah, it certainly does. Michael Romanidis looking very menacing in behind Domenico Lavecce. The Ferrari's got to watch his mirrors, because in comes the Williams as they hightail now through the next series of bends. Turns 5, 6 and now 7 as well. As now you can see Jarno Opmeer coming around turn 8. Just look at the string of cars. Nose to tail action here at Bahrain. And very shortly they'll be tackling the straight in between turns 10 and 11, where DRS will open up for them. Lucas Blakely getting very close to the rear of Danny Moreno as well. Do not count out the man in the Aston Martin who has actually pulled off so many great performances already that we've seen, as he now hightails up now through the next left. All of them separated by pretty similar requisite delta times right now. This is absolutely sensational. All it takes is one mistake and this leaderboard is going to change, Jack.
Absolutely, but I think the man who's going to be, I think we need to keep our eye on is Alvaro Carreton on the alternate strategy. We know how strong this is around Bahrain. If he keeps himself in that DRS train, he is going to be at a huge advantage later on in the Grand Prix as well. So watch out for Alvaro Carreton opting for the alternate strategy here. But now, across the line, lap number 4, Jarno Opmeer, fastest lap of the race for now, but he doesn't have the benefit of DRS either. But now Longue is going to drag himself up. Moreno is showing himself in the mirrors to Nicolas Longue, just letting him know that he is there and he will pounce to get past, to chase after his teammate. If the Mercs get out in front, then we know they're so good at working with each other. We saw that in France last season. Once they get in free air, the Mercs are absolutely forced to be reckoned with, and Longue doesn't have the benefit of Donoso up with him either, with Donoso losing those early places as well. So a big moment now for Moreno. He's got to get himself past Longue if he wants to get himself in front. He's almost getting into the rear of Longue there on the brakes. He seems to have the pace, but it's now going to be a case of trying to get himself past. He's got to watch out, because if he leaves the space for Blakely, Lucas will certainly make his way through.
Certainly will. Danny Moreno there. You can see Lucas Blakely, all the menacing in behind him. DRS now open for the machine, Danny Moreno. There's Nicolas Longue right ahead of him too. Jarno Opmeer leading the contingent around now. Round turn 11 into turn 12. And Opmeer now knows that he needs to keep the pace, needs to keep Longue in behind him. This is similar to what we saw at Brazil last season, where Longue was the one chasing the Flying Dutchman in that race. And of course, they were swapping P1 around all the time. It was like a yo-yo pretty much. Danny Moreno now coming down towards the next right-hander. Of course, 2 rights to take before the home straight. The DRS detection zone has now been hit. It will open up again. Freddie Rasmussen with a 3-second time penalty, and he opts to box here, Jack. Not a great start for the Dane, but the flying fastest laps are starting to come in. Nicolas Longue right in behind. Lucas Blakely having darted on the inside to have a go at Danny Moreno. Very, very interesting scenes here already from the get-go, but Freddie Rasmussen already struggling from the get-go.
Yeah, he's already had to come in a box to put on another set of soft tyres. So Rasmussen, absolute disaster for Freddie, and he's now have to go back to the back of the field, and he's going to be now by himself. So not a good start for the Danish driver, but really getting a little bit hotly contested up the front right now. DRS beginning to become effective with all these guys. The train, of course, pretty strong, but it seems now the slipstream very effective. And Opmeer now, he needs to keep that gap at up just over half a second. That seems to be the kind of the sweet spot to not get past here, but he's going to have to work super hard to keep them behind as well. He's not using too much ERS, neither is Longue, so Longue is happy to sit behind, as you would normally be, to save up that ERS charge and save the tyres as well at the same time without having to push too hard, punching the hole in the air as the car, as Longue gets a little bit loose on the way through the right-hander. We noticed this as well. The car seemed to be more tail happy, and once the tyres start to go off, they really start to go off. So I wonder, is Longue maybe going to think about a move here? Coming through the last corner right now, gap stands at 0.4 of a second. Onto the power they go now. Will Longue have a go here, or will he still stay behind? He's got to watch out for Moreno behind as they come towards turn 1. No, he's not going to go for it here, I reckon. He's not close enough, and nobody's going to go for it either just yet. It's going to be close to the piss off. Blakely looks, but he's not going to go for it yet.
No, that's the second time Blakely has had a look down the inside of Danny Moreno. The pit stop phase now is going to come through now, folks. Some of them have already had it. It could be the case that they all choose, or some of them choose to come in and box for the hard compounded tie. But remember, you can take the softs into the deeper end of this race. Some have chosen to do that in the past, of course, and go on to the mediums and try and get them to the end. That is, of course, the more aggressive strategy. You have to be very conscious of the tyre wear, though. As you know, round turn 8 now, there you can see Otmir, sparks flying out to the rear end of that Mercedes as they hightail now through turn 9 and very shortly through turn 10. In behind there you can see Nicholas Longue, who has got the machine Danny Moreno just stuck in behind him here, who might choose to make a move if he chooses to, or if he has the opportunity to, should I say. Donoso getting ever so closer as well in behind Lucas Blakely. Plenty on offer here, and obviously, as we've usually seen in the world of esports, and certainly in this kind of racing, it tends to all kick off after the first pit stop phase, doesn't it, Jack?
It really does, yeah. So it's all going to be a case of who decides to box first out of these top runners, because a pit stop, an undercut can really work in your favour, but you've got to make sure that your in-lap is quick, and pit stops are so crucial here. Moreno's really close to Longue here, and he's thinking about, there he goes, and he's diving into pit lane. Nicholas Longue is the first man to dive out into the pit lane now. He decides he wants to go for the undercut. That will now trigger the rest of the pit stop as Paragic peels into pit lane 2.
Yeah, Blakely had a little look as well as they now round the next right-hander now, heading into turns 2 and now 3. Danny Moreno hightailing out now, turn 3 now. Fabrizio Donoso is also waiting in the wings. Maybe he can have a go. His teammate Nicholas Longue is boxed. Freddie Rasmussen setting the fastest lap on the newer soft tyres that he has put on as they round the next right now and hightail down towards turn 8. Jarno Otmir still leading the way. In behind Danny Moreno, Lucas Blakely in P3. Fabrizio Donoso just waiting in anticipation for any mistake that could possibly be made. Simon Shooter nearly a second back. These four slowly trying to edge closer and closer away, or move away from those P5 onwards. Domenico Lavecce in behind Simon Shooter, Michael Romanidis and Alvaro Caraton moving up in the pit stop phase. Shanaka Clay up into P9, Jake Benham up into P11 trying to tackle Barry Burmand as well. Plenty of manoeuvring going on round on the track. The delta gaps are beginning to, well, certainly thin out, certainly at the top end, and start to stretch in the midfield too, as we're now watching them hightail around turn 13 now, running wide. Lucas Blakely, that is not ideal at all, coming down towards the next one at turn 14 and 15. DRS detection zone has been applied. Coming around the next right, the Chilean Fabrizio Donoso looks to get his revenge here. Lucas Blakely though chooses to box. He knew he was struggling on those tyres. He's now obviously, I believe he'll pit onto a set of hards.
Yeah, we've got a couple of others as well. We've got Simon Shooter, Lavecce and Romanidis are also in, but the crucial one now is where does Blakely come out relative to Nicholas Longue? Longue round the last corner right now. Blakely on the way out of the pit lane. This should be Longue's here, but it's going to be very close down towards turn number 1. Where is the Aston Martin? He's on the pit exit right now. Here comes Longue. Does he get in front? The answer is certainly yes. Longue makes the undercut work, and Blakely just about gets out in front of Tomek Paragic, so he manages to get in front of the Red Bull, but Longue on the charge now with the undercut as well. But the crucial thing now is the mediums are the best tyre out there right now, so it is advantage Caraton and Shanaka Clay at the moment.
Yeah, they're owning that area. Certainly they have yet to box, but obviously Jarno Otmir is still in P1, the Flying Dutchman leading the charge, with Danny Moreno just in behind, currently around half a second the gap. In behind Fabrizio Donoso is about 3/10 back from Moreno, and as we now watch Nicholas Longue, what a pit stop there for Longue. Gets himself out and about on fresh hard tyres, and he can try and get the heat into them now as well and get himself higher up in this race. We'll have to see whether the strategy works out for him here. Looking further down, Tomek Paragic moving up on Lucas Blakely as well. Naturally that could be a battle for that P15 spot, because Blakely does not have DRS on Nicholas Longue. Looking further up, Donoso is also trying to get closer to Danny Moreno. We could yet see an encounter as Donoso opts to pit, so he's now in the box. Both Mercedes continuing onwards though, Jack. No movements between those, as we're now watching them round now down the stretch. In comes that man Donoso in for his pit stop. In we can see Jake Benham rounding turn 1. Dario Yamulo currently holding on to P11 at the mercy as well of Fabrizio Donoso. Well, say at the mercy of Fabrizio Donoso is around 4 seconds gap, as now Rasmussen makes his way up into P12 as Donoso now drops in the pit box. It's all happening here, folks. Shanaka Clay trying to gain on Caraton as well. The train is reactivated. We're going to see the battles come out now, folks. Lap 9 of 29. 20 laps to go.
Yeah, Tomek got in front of Donoso. They went side by side through turn 1, but Tomek is in front of Donoso. Not what he needed with that late pit stop as well. But Longe now, free air in front. The kind of thorn in the side for them really is Freddie Rasmussen, because he's pitted early and gone on to another set of soft compound tyres. He's completely out of sync, but he will kind of trouble the top end a little bit now. But Longe now drags Blakely, drags Paragic, Donoso behind him as well. So this is the train on those strategy. I reckon Merck are trying something different here. Could they maybe try a soft to medium strategy here if they decide to carry on a little bit longer here? They've got each other to work with here, but we'll have to wait and see whether they decide to do that. It would be an interesting call from Merck to decide to do that. Is anybody going to pit now? Is Moreno going to pit? No, they're carrying on, so maybe the soft to medium for Merck.
Yeah, it could well be. I think that's why they're stretching it, Jack. They're trying to make the softs last. Looking further up, though. Barry Burman looking to try and make a move potentially for this race. No, Shanaka Clay, shutting the door there, just avoiding any potential move from Barry Burman, who's trying urgently, desperately, to try and make his way up the field. But bear in mind, he's on medium tyres. He may choose to go for the medium soft. I'd imagine he will try and stretch them as long as possible. But just look at Shanaka Clay all over the rear of Alvaro Caraton. That move could come back to scoop us up later on. Is there movements further down, Jack?
Blakely on Longe, he's got it done. Blakely is now the lead of the hard runners, he's got it done. And as well at the same time, Donoso gets in front of Paragic, so double moves there, but Blakely decides he doesn't want to sit behind Longe, he wants to get on with it, and he's now going to try break away. He knows now the Mercs may be trying something different, he needs to get a move on.
He certainly does. What a great manoeuvre there from Lucas Blakely to get himself ahead. In behind, you can see there Nicholas Longe licking his wound slightly as well behind Fabrizio Donoso. His teammate just there too. Tomek Paragic in behind those as well, trying to follow in behind as they round now the next left, heading around turn 10. Very shortly down the straight, they have got another left to take, which will be turn 11. There you can see the Aston Martin cruising and bruising down through towards the next left. As we can now look further up as well, the gap started to cripple downwards between Shanaka Clay, Barry Burman as well. Jake Benham locked in behind too with Nicholas Matteo as well in the fray with Joni Tormala. But just look at this though, they're all just making their way around this next right. They'll start the next lap all in tandem, but a great opportunity here, no doubt, for Nicholas Longe, who may want to try and snipe off Lucas Blakely at this moment in time as they round the final couple of bends. The Aston Martin looking in his mirrors, could see that man Nicholas Longe starting to probe. Will he choose to make a move as Tommy Parancic has got himself ahead, I believe there? Or is that some craziness going on with the timing tower right now, folks? As now we can see Nicholas Longe getting close to Blakely. No move made just yet. They're all in tandem, quite happy just to see it through for now.
Yeah, that was what happened, George. But Donoso went off the circuit. Moreno's boxed and come out behind Paragic. They got on the medium tyres. Barry Burman, by the way, double overtake up to P2. He goes in front of Shanaka Clay. There was contact through the first corner, and it was nearly race ending for Shanaka Clay for him there. But Barry Burman leads that train. But Moreno's now boxed onto the medium tyres and come out behind Paragic, behind Longe, behind Blakely. I think that was why they decided to box now. They didn't want to lose too much time, but Otmir now probably going to pit on this lap. Those softs are going to be at the end of the tether, absolutely dead at this point. And George, 3,000 live viewers on the first round.
My word, folks, thank you ever so much for all your support. But we're now watching the all-star Jake Benham in behind that man Shanaka Clay. 3,000 of you tuning in for PSGL here tonight. A brand new record ever seen in the history of league racing. Absolutely tremendous. Here comes Jake Benham now down the straight. Shanaka Clay, they all move past Yano Watmere, who's now decided to box. There's Barry Burman. Shanaka Clay weaving in to try and defend here from Jake Benham as they come through turn 1 out of turn 2. Very shortly turn 3 now as well. Barry Burman currently leading this Grand Prix. Shanaka Clay in behind as well. Jake Benham still holding it behind. All these, there's about 5 cars all strung along with Joni Tormala right behind them here. What a race we've got in prospect, Jack. Both Danny and Yano though out now on fresh medium tyres.
Yeah, and they've managed to come out in front of that hard compound train as well, so that's worked out beautifully for them. So now they've got each other to work with, but they've got the fresh medium tyres, and they're now going to try and work together to make their way through. But Blakely is at the head of that train in P11, long way behind him, Paragic, then Moreno and Otmir, who's now going to get those mediums up to temperature as quickly as he can, but is now at the head of the field. It's Barry Burman at the moment, Shanaka Clay in P2, Jake Benham in P3 with Nicholas Matteo and Joni Tormala in P5 on the alternate alternate strategy as well. Not sure what's going on with Alvaro Carreton. Seems to be struggling in this phase as well. We were tipping him to be up at the top end, but seems to be now falling off in this late phase. Maybe some damage on that car as well, because he's lost the position to Tomola, Aidu and Tome. So it's now Barry Borman at the head of the field. But with that penalty, it is Shanika Clay technically in the lead, but a quick man behind him, Jake Benham. I think he might fancy a lineup here.
Well, he's not alone, because here we have the Mercs also making moves as we now watch Danny Moreno in behind Tomek Paracic. Dives down the inside here now of the Red Bull. This is urgent that he gets it done. Into that next left at turn 14. Moreno, the machine, strikes at daylight, or nightlight, should I say. Brilliant there from the Spaniard, Danny Moreno. Moves his way up the field. Jarno Watmere also in behind, looking to make chase as they round now towards turn 1. You can see there, just in behind there, that Nicholas Longue is trying to chase on Lucas Blakely. He might get an opportunity here as they come down through turn 3 and rounding down towards turn 4. There's the Aston Martin in behind there. You can see there Nicholas Longue, but Danny Moreno, great opportunity, utilising those fresh mediums. He's now ahead of Tomek Paracic.
He certainly is, and he waited until the DRS detection before he decided to nip it down the inside. So perfect. The Mercs are in an absolutely brilliant position right now on those fresh mediums. The hards will not be up to temperature yet. They need to get through quickly past these hard compound runners, but it should be light work. As they come down now the back straight, now up behind Nicholas Longa. He doesn't have DRS, or not using his DRS at this time. Lucas Blakely now in trouble because he's got these two Mercs behind him. Otmir's got to try and get past Tomek Paracic now as well. Remember the fight they had in Silverstone between those two. They had an amazing fight, but look at the grip difference between the mediums and the hards. It's just Moreno just closing right up underneath Longa. He should have him here. I think he's going to have a go again. A mirror image of what he did last time. Waits for the DRS detection, but is not quite able to do it. But he should have this. But it could be a 3-wide moment, George. I think hang on to your hats for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Moreno now looking to make a break. Jarno Watmere doing the same. He goes wide past Tomek Paracic. Smoothly does it. Let's fly. Gets himself past with absolute ease. Still wheel to wheel though. Tomek proving to be a difficult fight. But Otmere, the Flying Dutchman, gets it done into P14. A graduous visit from Mercedes, utilising the fresh medium tyres. And they're going to look to move up at a matter of urgency now. They've got Longue in front and Blakely. They've really got to let fly, Jack. It's absolutely crucial.
It is, and the more they get held up, Paracic gets a penalty as well. That's not what Tomek needed, but the more that these guys get held up in traffic, that's what's going to work to the advantage of Barry Borman, Shanika Clay and Co. They need the Mercedes to get held up as much as possible in this traffic for them to benefit from this now. As now they come through the left-hander. Now Blakely still leading this train. Longue up behind now, but Moreno's on an absolute charge. Otmere kind of using him almost as the bulldozer to get his way through, but Moreno is absolutely flying. Nicholas Longue is his target. He won't be able to get him until the back straight unless he's able to get through, but you'll see the visual grip difference through this right-hander now as they did last time. Longue having to maybe go a slight bit wider through that corner as well. On the power now, overtake on for Danny Moreno. Is he going to try it now? He's using a boot full of overtake. Now he'll have DRS. Blakely breaking away a little bit. Moreno gets right up behind Longue here. Onto the power they go, onto the back straight now. This is the opportunity for Danny Moreno. He's got to do it now. Down towards the first corner. Overtake on. DRS on. Is Longue going to go for it on Blakely? So when he looks to the inside, Longue is going to go for it on Blakely. Inside for turn number 1, side by side between the Alpine and Aston Martin. But Blakely cleverly does it around the outside now. But now Moreno onto the power. DRS open now. Gets up underneath Longue. Going to try and look for the inside line. They bob and weave. Down towards turn 3. They go inside for Moreno. This time side by side between Longue and Moreno. Onto the power they go. Still side by side through the S section now. Moreno's in front up to P12.
Brilliant manoeuvre there from the machine. Danny Moreno striking while the iron's hot. In comes Longue for a desperate manoeuvre. Inside. Absolutely sensational. A daring dive. They make contact. Wheel to wheel around turn 9. Longue trying to hold on. Moreno, he's too good. He's too good. The medium tyres are working. Sparks let fly out of turn 10. Absolutely tremendous stuff. A diving manoeuvre from Nicholas Longue around turn 8. He couldn't make it happen, and he might have damage on the side pod, Jack.
Whoa, that was a good attempt from Nicholas Longue, and Moreno was aware of him there, and Longue was nice enough to give him space through that left-hander and give him space on the inside. Oh, he's got a penalty. Longue gets a penalty as well. That's going to work even more to the advantage of the Mercs as well. But now it's Lucas Blakely now in trouble. He's got Moreno behind him. I don't think he's going to have any defence to this now. Freddie Rasmussen pits right now, but this should be Moreno moving to the front of the train right now. He doesn't want to use too much overtake at the same time. Down towards turn 1. This is going to be the move for Moreno. Yes, it is. Inside on Lucas Blakely. Dives it up the inside of turn number 1. Side by side they go. Moreno to the front of the train right now. And now he's got clean air to push on.
He does. What a move by Moreno. He's flying. He's absolutely flying. And Jarno Opmeer is going to look to do the same as Longue shuts the door. Oh, he's moved in.
Oh, no, he's round.
Oh, no. Oh, no. A massive collision. Opmeer got hit as well. And lost. I believe there must be damage to Longue's car. And there was an issue as well. I think he tried it on Lucas Blakely. But Opmeer very nearly losing everything there as well. It really collided coming out of turn 4. It got so close. And, oh, my word. Absolutely, it was just a cluster heading around that bend, and I have to say, not something you want to see at all. Unfortunately, we couldn't see the whole view there, but Jarno was definitely one of the unlucky ones there in that situation. Got clipped by that Alpine. I don't know quite what happened. It looked like he tried it on Blakely, but as they now round at turn 12 here at this moment in time in lap 16 of 29, Danny Moreno is leading this half of the grid around. P10 he's in right now and trying to pull clear of Lucas Blakely. Jarno Opmeer coming to join the fray as well. There's a mishmash going on at the top 2 with Shanaka Clay looking to do some work here. Tries to move on the outside of Barry Burman for P1, but he can't find the answer. But Burman holds on, Jack.
Yeah, Jarno was very lucky to get away without side pod damage right there. He got a big clatter from Longues. Now Blakely looks to get back past Danny Moreno there. He had a little look and a jink to the inside, but no way through for him yet there. As side by side between Barry and Shanaka down through the S section as well. Barry hanging on for dear life here. Shanaka diving left and right. This is going to be the inside. Shanaka Clay looks up the inside of Burman. Burman leaves him room, but this is costing them time. And look at Jake Benham finds some room on the inside. Dropping down the hill. He can't quite get alongside. It's bedlam up at the front right now. This is costing them time. They can't. Oh, Shanaka gets loose, gets a tag in the rear from Jake Benham, and he has to take to the runoff area on the outside line. But now it's getting crazy up the front. This is costing them time to the guys behind, and Burman breaks away for a moment, and they somehow remain as they are.
Yeah, they do. The all-star Jake Benham nearly took his opportunity against Shanaka Clay, but have any of those cars sustained damage after that contact around turn 10? Nicholas Mateo, who is running behind, runs wide and allows Yoni Tormala to go ahead of him there. And certainly the AlphaTauri struck while the iron was certainly hot there and has done the business. Moved himself up into P4. Jake Benham, though, looking extremely quick right now in the Haas. Diving into the pit lane goes Barry Burman. Jake Benham, a late change, decides to box as well. That means Yoni Tormala leads them into the next lap, and certainly what a visit from all those drivers. 4 cars in the pit, make that 5 now.
Yeah, that's going to be a costly battle, though. That last lap, they cost themselves a lot of time by doing that. They're going to box onto the soft compound tyres. Well, Blakely's going to have a go at Moreno. Back up the inside he goes, and the Scotsman gets himself through on the hard compound tyre. Blakely's driving out of his skin on these hard compound tyres and retakes that position on Danny Moreno as they come down towards turn 3. Moreno's going to have a little look again to the inside line. Superb battle between these two. Moreno back down the inside again. Blakely looking for the switchback. Can't do it, but Blakely's right in for dancing in this one.
Yeah, brilliant stuff from Lucas Blakely, and despite him having some trouble with the Mercedes cars, he has done absolutely everything he can to hold on to his position. He's been superb. The racecraft has been absolutely spectacular between Blakely, Moreno and Opmeer. We have seen such a tie-up in that midfield battle, which is now turning into the top battle now as they come out of turn 10 down towards turn 11. Jarno Opmeer is currently 4/10 in behind Lucas Blakely. Now you can count on the fact that Lucas is probably going to want to bust a move here down the straight. How much tyre life does Danny Moreno have on those tyres? Because they are going to have seen a lot of action in the 6 laps that he's had them on. We'll have to wait and see how it's going to affect him as they now round the next right out of turn 13. Down the stretch now, they've got turn 14 and 15 left on this lap. As you can now see them, well, make their way down towards the final couple of bends. DRS activation point comes alive as they come down the stretch now. Will Blakely look to once again bust a move here? This this time on Danny Moreno. The machine is looking in his mirrors here as Blakely, with all the pace, utilising the DRS, chooses not to make the move, Jack. He's going to be patient, try and save maybe a little bit of VRS as well, but an amazing tie-up between these amazing three drivers in esports, all of them with Mercedes engines.
Absolutely, yeah. I think Bjorn was being very patient. I'm having a look at his ERS charts, but he's always got a full charge versus Blakely, who's on about 20-30% at the moment. So Opmeer is saving ERS. I think Blakely needs to do the same. And Moreno, of course, very good at looking after the ERS as well. But we can't, of course, count out Tomek Paragic. He's in there. Of course, he's got the penalty, but he's still in there and will cause a spanner in the works for these guys. But there's now 10 laps to go, and we've got to watch out for the soft runners as well. How quick will they be able to catch up to them? Barry Burman at the head of that one, Shannon Clay behind him, and Jake Benham. This could be a really grandstand finish to this race. It's Dario Yamulo currently leading the race on the hard. He started on the hard compound tyres while he'll fall down the order very much as Burman now gets past Nicholas Longue, who is going slowly down the straight as well, and Burman picks up the place.
Yeah, and he's on that aggressive strategy, Jack. He's on the soft tyres towards the end. Shanaka Clay also going for a manoeuvre. The Aston Martin follows through the Iranian Barry Burman and moves himself up a spot as well. Sensational stuff at the top end. Longue is literal fodder right now. I think he must have some damage. He's losing all the pace, and Jake Benham is going to do exactly the same as they come around turns 14 and 15 now. The Haas eyeing up now that Alpine with great measure as they come down the stretch again. Burman with the fastest lap. The all-star Jake Benham bursts down the outside now of Nicholas Longue into turn 1. Following through is Nicholas Mateo, but Benham, brilliant Benham up into P9, flying on those softs, follows through Barry Burman and Shanaka Clay. A grandstand finish, Jack, surely on the cards. 9 laps left. Who's going to do it? Which strategy is going to come out on top?
We'll have to wait and see, but Blakely leads the Grand Prix. He's got back past Moreno once again. The Scotsman's doing the job at the head of the field right now, but he is, of course, at the ERS disadvantage compared to the Mercs right now. Opmeer saving the ERS as much as he possibly can in this phase of the race right now, but Burman and Co are absolutely flying up to the rear of them. They're going to try to get themselves past Domenico Lavecchia right now. Call him in a perfect spot. Here comes Burman now. Easy pass on the Italian on the inside for him right now. Such a shame he's got the penalty for this one as well after that unusual lap 1 incident right there. And look at Shanaka Clay. Once again, he's going to go around the outside of that long right, and again the pace advantage of the soft compound working beautifully. So watch out for Burman, but particularly because of no penalties, watch out for Shanaka Clay, a result on the cards for him.
Yeah, it could well be. Don't forget that the Mercedes team working in tandem. They've done this before. They did it last season, if you remember the French Grand Prix, where it was Danny Moreno and Jarno Opmeer who reigned dominant in that particular situation. They've got to do it again now. The machine, Danny Moreno, looks in the rear of Lucas Blakely. He knows how much of a tricky and tough customer this man Blakely is. The Scotsman, who is absolutely relentless in a race car, not to mention in a real life kart as well. Coming down into turn 4, Lucas Blakely holding on in behind Danny Moreno, looking upon him now, trying to find a way through. This sensational effort from Lucas Blakely, following on from the amazing drive that the amazing drives he did in pre-season. Danny Moreno and Jarno Opmeer. We got an update, Jack. That was a touch, wasn't it?
Moreno just went into the back of Blakely and nearly spun it. That was really close. That was almost a race-ending crash. Danny Moreno caught out by the lack of grip on the hard compound tyres. How he held on to that, I do not know. But they carry on as much as they carry on as normal now. Opmeer, possibly a switch between the Mercs coming up now, George.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just see them in behind. Just look at that Tomek Paragic, who has been following this bunch for quite some time. Thyman Shooter not far behind, but Barry Burman urging up on Thyman Shooter. So we're going to be seeing the soft tyre drivers coming, or certainly making their way towards the thicker end of the field. There you can see them right at the back, folks. They've caught up. They're not far behind as they now round the final couple of bends here. This time on lap 21, Lucas Blakely. What a tremendous drive so far, but he might be at the mercy of Danny Moreno. The machine strikes now while the iron is hot. The Black Arrow with an instantaneous dive on the inside. Opmeer having a look too. Will he follow him through? No, but the machine, Danny Moreno. Brilliant move. Gets himself up into P1. What a start, Jack. Amazing race for Danny Moreno. He's up into P1 and he's got Blakely behind him with Opmeer waiting in the wings.
Yeah, but now the soft runners are clear of the traffic and they will fly up to the rear, George. This is going to be an amazing finish to this Grand Prix. 3 different strategies coming to a head with a few laps left, but Moreno leads, Blakely second, Otmir third, Parajic running in P4, but look at the time deficit. It is coming down so fast between the soft runners and the medium and hard runners. This could be an amazing race for Shanika Clay and the soft runners now.
Absolutely, it could well be a brilliant visit here from those on the soft tyres. Barry Burman doing his best to try and clock upon Tomek Paradzic. He's only 1.5 seconds back, folks. It could all happen. Jake Benham moving ahead of Thyman Shooter as well. The all-star Jake Benham also driving a spectacular race. Imagine if he gets points, Jack. He could be absolutely sublime here. As now we watch this man, Jarno Otmir, PSGL F1 champion, of course, making his way down towards turn 14. He's having a look. He's having a nose. But the Dutchman knows better than that. Round in the final couple of bends. Down the straight now. Danny Moreno, what's he doing? Opts to the stand side. Otmir though, the Flying Dutchman. Near side dive into turn 1. He's absolutely done it. He's brilliant. Absolutely sensational. He's up into P2. Mercedes 1-2 yet again. Masterclass. Absolute masterclass.
They need to get away now. That was a crucial move. They need to work together to try and get away from the soft runners, build as big a gap as they can between the two of them. Barry Borman 1.3 back, but Shanika Clay is the man on a mission behind him as well. The two of them working very nicely together at the moment, and they're rising really quickly through the field. Now within DRS of the train in front, and they will now surely pick these guys off in this late phase of the Grand Prix as well. So Otmir and Moreno need to try and build as big a gap as they can between these two. Blakely hanging on in there very nicely in P3, but this is a mega phase of the Grand Prix from the guys who opted to go on the soft tyres rather than the medium compounds as well. Burman, Clay and Benham. This could be an amazing opening race. Pressinator gets a penalty as well, but now lap 24 of 29 and the soft runners are now with them.
They are. They're only 3.5 tenths back. Barry Burman in behind Tomek Paradzic, who himself has driven a superb race. He may have another lap on Lucas Blakely's tyres, but look at the difference in pace on the softs compared to the hards. Absolutely hoovered up here by Barry Burman, who took Jarno Otmir all the way for the title last season. He's now going to take a go, well, certainly have a go at Tomek Paradzic. The pole has no chance this time. The softs are way too much. The orange McLaren strikes. Barry Burman up into P4. Now let's see it. Softs v mediums. Who's going to do it? It's a big, bold question.
Absolutely, yeah, and of course we have to take into account that his penalty could be removed, so just keep that in mind as we wait now to see if these guys are absolutely on a mission as they come through the right-hander now. Burman now right behind Lucas Blakely through the S section now, surely moving the hairpin coming up maybe, and he's going to be patient here, wait behind Blakely here, into the right they go. Shanika's still stuck behind Tomek Paradzic, but now the man really who's in the box seat to win this one, George, is actually Shanika. No penalties just yet as we wait to see now, but Burman, he could still do it if he gets in front, it gets clear. He needs to push on and build a gap.
He certainly does. He's within 0.3 of a second. It's coming down by the moment. Here comes Shanika Clay, dives down in the inside into turn 11. The Aston Martin green livery has really been firing on all cylinders. Blakely in P3, Shanika Clay making it a 5-0. My word, Barry Burman down the inside of Lucas Blakely. That was bold, it was brave, it was brilliant, and Barry Burman on soft tyres moved himself up into P3. We're back where we started. We're back at last season. Otmir v Burman, folks. Otmir v Burman.
Well, here we go. Otmir's going to swap with Moreno now. Here comes Jarno Otmir to retake the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And the Mercs move in tandem together. Otmir, Moreno, Burman. What a familiar sight that is in PSGL as they come through the first corner right now. Burman's got a huge pace advantage on the soft tyres. But remember, they will drop off very quickly towards the end of the Grand Prix. So this could still be a late twist in the tail as we wait to see now. Burman and Blakely and Shanika Clay now all up together now in this late phase of the Grand Prix. All the top 10 are almost nose to tail. Johnny Tormola is up in P9. Johnny started right at the back of the field. So Johnny Tormola has driven an insane race to get himself back up to P9 in this Grand Prix as well. Lap 25 of 29. Merc 1-2, Burman P3. But it's Shanika Clay in the driving seat at the moment on those soft tyres. No penalties just yet. And I don't think Blakely's going to fight him too hard.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Jack. But look at at that Mercedes.
Move.
Yeah, we're going to see it now. Shanaka Clay going for a move here this time on Lucas Blakely, and that is team orders, folks. Lucas knows that Shanaka is on the better tyre. He's on the soft tyres, and he has a chance of winning this race. It's for the betterment of Aston Martin. Great teamwork here for Lucas Blakely to allow his teammate through. A George Russell-esque bit of verbal going on between them. Let Shanaka through, he says. He's got the tyres. He can take the fight to them, as we're now watching Jarno Opmeer now, who leads this race currently with Danny Moreno in behind. Barry Burman in behind those in P3 as they make their way down towards turn 1. It's a Mercedes engine. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, folks. Unprecedented scenes here, but Opmeer leads with a magical 3 laps left to go.
And 4,000 live viewers in these last few laps now as Paragic and Matteo get close for comfort through turn 1 and 2. Nicholas Matteo in the Ferrari has had a quiet race, but now he's going to try to get up to P6 in this Grand Prix. There he goes, up to P6. Nicholas Matteo in the Ferrari on a great run here as they come through towards the S section right now. 4 laps left to go. It's still Opmeer, Moreno, Burmant and Shanaka Clay. P1, 2, 3 and 4. Still Mercedes in control in this phase of the Grand Prix. Are those softs beginning to fall off just a small bit now as well? We've got to think about that as well. But Nicholas Matteo, he's a dark horse for a top 5 here. He's been very quiet throughout this race, but has worked his way up brilliantly.
He has indeed. Barry Burman, like you say though, penalty applied. P3 is where he stays. Danny Moreno haunting his teammate currently. Yoni Tormala actually getting past Jake Benham actually. In fact, some incredible stuff from Yoni Tormala and an incredible fight back in fact. Remember, he started towards the rear of the classification. What a visit from him as we're now watching the Flying Dutchman make his way down towards turn 14. Danny Moreno in behind his teammate, looking to maybe strike it in position on his teammate, but bear in mind they got the bigger picture to worry about, because in behind Barry Burman is on the faster tyre. Anything can happen here at PSGL, and a great opportunity here as we now witness them come down towards turn 1. Danny Moreno opts to make a move on his teammate Jarno Opmeer. Will indeed Barry Burman get a move done himself? So close, too close for comfort, but Barry Burman can't quite do it, though he might try it around turn 4, Jack.
Yeah, I think the Mercs know that he has a penalty as well, so they're not fighting him too hard. Shanaka Clay kind of falling off a little bit now as well, not quite able to keep the pace with their nose to tail the top 3. Burman, Opmeer and Moreno. This should be a Merc win, pending the stewards removing Barry's penalty, of course. He's got to think about that as well, but he goes a little bit wide there, does Burman as well, getting all the power. Potentially now the softs beginning to wear quite significantly in this late phase of the Grand Prix, but it's Moreno versus Opmeer at the head of the field for now. Shanaka Clay being patient in behind Burman as well. This could still flip his way, of course. No way through for him just yet. There'll be 2 laps to go across the line. It's really going by very quickly, but Moreno, Opmeer, Burman, just like last season. But of course, Burman has the penalty, but it still could be removed in the stewards' room.
Certainly can. Danny Moreno leads them around on lap 27, soon to start lap 28, folks. This has been a sensation. It's been a pleasure having you all with us here for this very special night of racing. Danny Moreno leading them round here into lap 28 very shortly. Barry Burman knows that he really needs to get a move on. Penalty applied. He might choose to go this time. Barry Burman, the faster Radian. We saw this all last season. Wheel to wheel with the Flying Dutchman. A double overtake in the offing. He looked like he was on for it, but Jarno goes ahead of his teammate. Danny's lost 2 places. Barry Burman with an opportunity to really upset the apple cart as they make their way down towards turn 4. Will he offer a move into turn 4? No, he will not. Opmeer, the Flying Dutchman, holds on to P1 for Mercedes.
3 wide into turn 1 between the 3 at the head of the championship last season. That's exactly what we wanted to see through this championship now, but there's just a lap and a half left to go. This is in the lap of Jarno Opmeer, pending the stewards' inquiries, of course, as they come down into the left-hander right now. Opmeer's pushing on. The softs are beginning to die in this late phase of the Grand Prix now. Shanaka Clay in the box seat for a podium now as well, but Opmeer's now breaking away. He's using every single bit of his ERS to try and get away from Barry Burman now. Barry's tyres not looking the best at the moment. The gap opens out to 0.7 of a second, and I think now this is in the lap of Jarno Opmeer. He just needs to keep it clean for just 1 more lap, and he will have this race in the bag.
Absolutely, those who tip the Flying Dutchman to win tonight. I tell you what, you're looking good right now. Barry Burman actually looks like he might be at the mercy of Danny Moreno here. This could still be a Mercedes 1-2, folks. Do not go away. We're going on to the final lap, folks. This is going to be special. Danny Moreno going for glory. Wants to try and get a double for Mercedes. A top two, a Mercedes lockout. Can they do it? Barry Burman tries to hold him off, but no. Danny Moreno can't find a way through. Barry Burman supreme defended by the fast Iranian. Absolutely undermines Moreno's chance. Incredible manoeuvre, but Shanaka Clay right in behind Moreno as well.
Yeah, this will be a podium for Shanaka Clay if he hangs on to it, but the softs are absolutely dead in this late phase of the Grand Prix. They are worn down to shreds, and Jarno has broken DRS. Surely now, this is his race, barring any late errors, but it'll be now a wait to see if Burman can hang on for second. Of course, he's got to try and hold the position in case he wants to get that penalty removed after the interesting lap 1 antics through the first corner. But down the back straight now, Moreno still in behind Burman. Has he resigned himself to P3? Does he know he'll get P2 anyway? Through the left-hander now for the last time. The opening round of PSGL has been an absolute sensation, a record-breaking stream in the opening round. Down towards the last few bends right now. This is going to be first blood in this race. Down towards the last corner right now. Moreno still not close enough. I think he's given up on trying to get through after the penalties, but it is a domination, a brilliant drive from the Mercs down towards the line. It is Jarno Opmeer who wins the Bahrain Grand Prix from the pole position. Barry Burman is second, but it'll be a 1-2 for Mercedes provisionally, and Shanaka Clay gets himself on the podium for Aston Martin. Lucas Blakely is fourth, Nicholas Matteo is fifth, and Joni Tormela from last up to P6. A brilliant job from the Flying Finn. Merc 1-2 in the opening round. It's Jarno on top.
The crowd stood still as the Flying Dutchman lights up the first race in the PSGL PC Championship. He's done it! He's done it! After winning his very first PSGL PC Championship last season, he's done it again, folks! He has won the Bahrain Grand Prix for a second year running. Incredible stuff! 5k viewers here at PSGL, live concurrence to watch Jarno Opmeer take the first win of the season. Danny Moreno makes it a 1-2 for the Mercedes camp. Shanaka Clay in P3. What a drive for the Aston Martin team with Lucas Blakely in P4. Wow, incredible, absolutely amazing. If you're not leaving a like and subscribe for that, folks, I don't know what you're going to leave it for. Jack, that was breathtaking stuff.
Absolutely, that was incredible. 3 different strategies coming together at the end. That is absolutely perfect. And driver of the day goes to Joni Tormela by the game. I think absolutely deserved. Last up to P6 for Joni, and an absolute deserved P6 for him and for AlphaTauri. But it is Mercedes back on top. Jarno Opmeer, the reigning champion, takes the opening spoils in front of Danny Moreno, who of course was Big C's tip for the win tonight, but it wasn't quite enough. And Shanaka Clay, a brilliant performance for him in P3, a debut podium for him in PSGL as well in Aston Martin. Lucas Blakely P4 and Nicholas Matteo as well P17 up to 5th. Joni Tormela in P6, Barry Burman provisionally P7, possibly going to get that removed in the stewards room. Jake Benham in P8, Tomek Parajic in P9, and Josh Ido, despite all the issues, driving through to a points finish in P10. Domenico Levecce P11, Caraton P12, Tome 13th, Rasmussen 14th, Yamulo, Schutzer, Romanidis, Donoso, Longue. Look what happened to the Alpines. Donoso and Longue 18th and 19th, and last of the pecking order is Philip Preschnader. What an opening round, but Mercedes are back on top just like they were.
Unbelievable, folks. Unbelievable. I'm absolutely lost for words. You guys are amazing. Every single one of you supporting us day in, day out. Last season we thought was brilliant. We've come here, the very first race of the season. 5k live viewers, folks. I'm absolutely, I'm just blown away. Blown away. And you guys are incredible. All your support is not gone unnoticed. We do appreciate everything that you guys have given us here tonight. And trust me, thumbs up to you guys. Thumbs up to all of you. You've all contributed to tonight. You contribute to the future of PSGL. Yada Watmir is the winner, though, in dramatic fashion, incredible fashion. And certainly the battle never stopped coming. We had non-stop Blakely, Moretto, Otmir. Then in came Barry Burrowman as well. It's exactly what we want to see at PSGL. The drama never stops coming. And Jack, I don't know how we could sum this up. It was just absolutely tremendous, but a great bit of Mercedes masterclass again. It was almost like France last season.
It really was, and I think it was just the team coordination to decide to go with the alternate strategy onto the mediums was ultimately the best call they could have made. They were confident they could get those mediums to the end versus those hards, which would be confident to the end but wouldn't have the same pace. And just those softs just didn't quite last. If they'd gone a lap later, maybe they could have done it. But Barry, he's shown that he's still up there for that alternate strategy, just with that penalty, which may be removed. He's still there for the fighting, and it's amazing to see them all fighting so hard up the top of the field. 3 different strategies coming together at the end, and definitely a standout performance from Shanika Clay. Nobody tipped him for a podium, but he drove through and drove brilliantly.
Oh, majestically, Jack. I mean, I've got to say, I want to give a hat tip to Jake Benham as well. I think he was brilliant, showing all his potential. And you know, we're teed up for a fantastic season. It doesn't stop here, folks. We've got 12 races here in this championship. This is only the first one. Anything can happen. You saw how close that finale was. You can expect that week in, week out. The drama just keeps on coming. And I'm hoping we will have some interviews as well with some of the drivers after this absolutely tremendous first visit. I'm actually delighted to say that we've got Barry Burrowman with us in the commentary box. Barry, an incredible drive, first race of the season. Obviously, it takes a while for people to get going. We, of course, haven't seen much of you in pre-season, but you haven't lost any bit of your spirit, mate. What a battle towards the end.
Yeah, first of all, we want to say hello to everyone and welcome back to George Morgan and
Yes.
hello to the middle. Yeah, I knew because of the esport, this is my actually plan. I think so many people as well. I'm gonna take it this year as a getting more from racecraft because I feel my racecraft needs a bit more for esports. So this is the way. Because I think quali was really there, and I think everyone knows my quali is every time there. And yeah, I was really wanted to try new things, just being a more interesting race. Because every time you get pole or front row, it's just 2 guy or the guy behind. And then yeah, it was I can say it was a great experience. And in the first lap, I got warning because me and Arvo were going side by side into turn 3, and then it wasn't his fault because I think somebody there was inside of him, and he pushed me off track. And there is a glitch in turn 3, and the game gives me a straight 3 warning. Only one corner, 1 3-second time penalty. I think it will get removed, but I want to speak about the race. Yeah, the race was amazing. He's so interesting. In the medium, I think if I was lucky and the 2 Merc wasn't in front, because the 2 actually fair play to him. They drive well. They played as a team, so GG to them. And yeah, I think if they were not 2 Merc at the front, it would be win, I would say. But yeah, I just wanted to try something new, just get more, more interesting and this stuff. And yeah, it was awesome experience. I think I will do it more to get more racecraft and more race experience to be more prepared for F1 Esport as well.
Yeah, well, I got to say, nevertheless, you pulled off a mighty climb to make your way up through the field, and it was a great effort. Some of the moves were absolutely dazzling to get your way up there. And obviously, it's always risky going on for the softer tyre towards the end, the aggressive strategy. We've seen it a couple of times already in off-season. It hasn't worked for everybody. You need to be a certain type of driver to make it work. So you must be pleased with your performance nonetheless, but do you think that penalty will be removed?
Because, just just it wasn't. I'm saying again, like it wasn't Alvaro's fault. He just somebody was inside of him, and I didn't know. I just went outside, and he pushed me. I was completely off track, like no space to be on track, and he pushed me out of 10-3 or 4. I don't know which called it. The right hander, last corner in sector 1. And I was, and I knew it in the practice, but I forgot it in the race. Like that corner has a glitch or bug in this game. Like when you went wide, it will give you not one warning. It will give you like a straight 3-second time penalty. Yeah, I think it will get removed, and yeah, I think we'll get P2. But yeah, again, should say the Mac really played so well. Otherwise, it will be win. But yeah, GG to them, fair play, and yeah, congrats to Yarno again as a win. As a winner.
Well, I have to say, Barry, I'm sure it won't be the last time we see you fighting at the top end, but a great effort by yourself. And if you do get that penalty removed, well done on the podium. But nevertheless, I look forward to seeing you at our next race, and I hope you're going to bring it twice as much, mate, as well.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and thank you so much to you and Jack for the commentating.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you so much, Barry. Look forward to seeing you next week, my friend. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll do.
Good man.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. We're going to move on next to Jarno Otmir, who's with us in the chat here, folks. Obviously, the live chat, we're all cheering your name, my friend. Normal service has been resumed, I think, for the Flying Dutchman, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it was a good race. Good way to open on the new game. The social races or the preseason race were not going very well, so nice to start off well. Preparation was good, so yeah, very happy to continue my podium streak in PSGL.
Well, I have to say, it was a great race, and some question the use of the strategy of taking the softs as far as you did. Obviously, it hasn't worked for many in off-season, but would you agree it takes a special kind of driver to get that tyre conservation just right? Because it can be such a dangerous strategy, can't it?
Yeah, I knew, of course, that I was going to get undercut by absolute ton of people. I think I was at some point a net P6 or 7. So yeah, then I had some work to do and had some overtaking to do. Which I luckily managed to do. The new mediums helped me with that, of course, compared to some older hard runners. And then we had to be careful of the ultimate strategy runners, of course. So both me and Danny had to get to the front before the soft runners arrived, because otherwise we were going to be in trouble. So yeah, we worked pretty well together, especially in the first stint where we were both on the softs and trying to go longer than everyone else. So yeah, was top job from both me and Danny.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the two of you working together has continued in such a rich way since last season. It worked so well for you both last season. And once again, we saw another Mercedes masterclass here today. Given now that that's sort of set the bar now, do you feel more confident? Obviously, as you alluded to, it wasn't an easy pre-season. Do you think now you've brushed the cobwebs away and you can now look forward to a great season ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I was already confident going into the race, and now I think we've shown that our pace is on there or up there. Of course, there's still loads of work to do before on esports, but yeah, we'll put in that work surely.
Yeah, I mean, against the grid like that, you must be feeling the confidence after a win in that sort of fashion. Obviously now, like you say, F1 Esports is just around the corner. And have you had to adjust that much with the new game coming out now? Has it been that much more difficult to get sort of set into the F1 2021 mechanics, should we say?
A little bit, of course. Every game is different, but I feel like F1 2020 to 2021 hasn't been as big of a change handling wise compared to other seasons. I feel like I felt like 18 to 19 and 19 to 20 were way bigger differences. So yeah, I feel pretty comfortable already. Definitely not on the pace we should be at, but we will get there eventually.
Well, I have to say, you've done it in front of a record-breaking PSGL audience. 5,000 live viewers concurrent tuned in to watch you win that race here today, with loads of Jarno Otmir fans as well in the live chat. But we're going to look forward, obviously, to a hellacious season. The Flying Dutchman has done it again, everybody. Jarno, congratulations, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jarno. Next up, we have Lucas Blakely, the Scot, The Scott that we love here at PSGL, a commentator's favourite, this man is. Lucas, welcome to the commentary box. A great drive nonetheless. Despite the difficulties towards the end of the race, you were very much in the forefront of that battle towards the end. But nevertheless, you really showed off your stuff and were, made some really incredible brave manoeuvres as well. You must have taken some positives out of that performance.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of mixed emotions, to be honest. I'm a bit... I mean, it was a good race. I mean, first of all, congrats. I know he's not here anymore, but congrats to Jarno and Barry, Danny and Shinaka on their races. They did a good job. The Mercedes played their cards well, and Barry made the alternate strategy work as well. So, first off, GG to them on the results. But yeah, as for me, I'm a bit, usually I'm really enthusiastic, but I can't help but feel a bit deflated because I feel like I would have at least liked to have been on the podium, considering I was fighting for the lead at some point to the race, with the hard tires, which I was surprised I was still able to keep pace with the guys on the mediums with the hards. I mean, I think I don't know. I think at the end I was maybe the highest finisher on that strategy. So I mean, I suppose as a positive I could take that, but yeah, I tried. I gave it a good crack, but yeah, to not come away with a podium and I thought I would at least get another chance to attack the Mercedes because I knew their mediums would be probably all over the place at the end of the race. So I thought as long as I keep myself relevant, I'd maybe have a chance. But yeah, I gave I don't know if it was shown on stream as well, but I also I had Shinaka on the alternate strategy, and I decided to not make life difficult for him as well. I let him go on the back straight, hoping that Shinaka would be able to go forward and challenge. I don't regret doing that at all. It's the smartest move. It's the best team move, if you like. Obviously I didn't put myself first, and maybe I could have had a better result had I not done these things. But Mr. Hindsight is always good to talk at this point. So it's I'm proud of my drive. Qualifying, I think I got the position I deserved. I did not a good lap, not a bad lap. It was a solid lap, but it wasn't enough for pole. I got what I deserved there, so I have really zero sort of complaints in that respect. So I'm happy I was able to at least be in the mix, but to not get the opportunity again at the end, it stings a bit because I felt like it felt like I would have at least like another shot at the Mercs, and I would have liked to at least been on the podium. But these are all things you can look back on and say now. But I think I did an okay job just to even bring it home because those hards were pretty gone. So yeah, I did what I could, and yeah, I guess we'll move on to next week. I guess it's not a bad debut and in an actual season of PSGL. I'm just happy to be at least up there and relevant. So yeah, I don't really know what to say. Mixed feelings.
No, I mean, it's obviously, you showed your pace in qualifying, which is obviously a good indicator as to where you were, because you were constantly hitting that front row, hitting the P3s up there, close to P1s as well, really hitting the top end and battling with the Mercedes drivers. So there's no question that you've got the pace to carry it out. It's just the case that the strategies seem to have changed it up, and obviously the Mercedes do what Mercedes like to do. They like to work together. It's their work. But I also noticed yourself and Shinaka had a very similar trade-off. You had Shinaka in behind you. You realised he was on fresh softs. Conceded an effort, just like what George Russell did to Nicholas Latifi. Give the power to Nicholas Latifi. You did the same for Shinaka. A great show of teamwork. Is that something we can expect to see this season?
I mean, it's the right thing to do, whether I like it or not, because Shinaka had a better chance to win the race than I did. I put I put the logic ahead of my selfishness, if you like. Obviously, there's that element of my brain where you're like, you shouldn't have done it. But at the same time, it's the right thing to do in the respect of the race, because for all I knew, Shinaka could have 100% battery. He could have really good tyres. I didn't know when he pitted. For all I know, Shinaka could have won that race, and then it's, you don't feel anything to it. So, we did a good job, though. So I have no, take back. I wouldn't change anything as such. So, yeah, I just kind of wish that, Shinaka was able to get in the mix a bit more, but I think his tyres were completely gone because I think he was on them for quite a while, which is understandable. So Yeah, I'm a bit, gutted it never worked out more because, I think in terms of pace, I had enough again, maybe because when the Mercedes were fighting with Barry, I felt like, there would be, and there was more opportunities to, get in the mix, and I think I would have had enough grip/pace to get in the mix again, but I never sadly got the opportunity. But, these are all, it's always easy to say when you've done the race, but yeah. I think Shanaka joked. I mean, he said to me after the series, "I think I owe you one now." But it's all good. I don't regret doing it as much as You can never, you can never predict these outcomes. Yeah. I mean, I've also heard. I'm guessing that Barry might get his penalty removed, which means it's P5. So I mean, it's a bit of a. It is a bit of a kick in the teeth, to be honest, because as I say, I felt like I drove well enough to at least be on the podium in the race and qualifying. Honestly, I have no excuses because I did, I had more than enough speed to put it on pole. I just didn't do a good enough job. So, I've got to be very honest with myself in that respect. Didn't do a bad job, but I didn't do the best perfect job. So, it's always a learning curve. You've got to take these things on the chin and move on if you want to improve. You've got to be pretty brutally honest with yourself at this level to, break yourself down and understand where you can improve. So, yeah, definitely positives I can take. I think so far in this game it's been quite good. I feel happy with my driving. I feel like, it's kind of funny because I mean when I look back to last year and obviously on paper it was quite a disastrous year towards the end, but these are sort of the drives and performances I feel like I've been able to do for a while. It's just now that it's starting to materialize, if you like, and I've went away, I've improved a lot of things, I've worked on a lot of things. Not necessarily all driving wise, just making sure I understand all my parameters correctly, if that makes sense. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's a good thing that I'm disappointed with a P4/P5 maybe finish, if that makes sense, because it was a good race. I hope everyone enjoyed it watching, everyone listening. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. It was really difficult to fight off and hold off two Mercedes, never mind just one. I mean, they're both leading rapid, so when you have two of them bullying you around the track, it gets a bit of a nightmare, I'm not gonna lie. So it was. I had a great fun. I mean, I had a good little tussle with Danny. I mean, so much happened in that race. I'm just trying to remember. I mean, the Alpines were in the mix as well. I mean, I completely forgot, honestly. Like,
yeah, there was an issue with. It seemed to be an issue with the Alpines heading towards the mid part of the race. I think Donoso had a problem. I think Longuet I think it was Longuet who had a spin, and he actually nearly collected Jarno as well. There was it was a bit of helter skelter, I think, in that situation. But no, crazy. I mean, it's amazing how luck can change in a matter of moments or a split second, and you have to be at your absolute best. And you alluded to it in preseason as well, how you need to be on it all the time. But I have to say, Lucas, without question, you've definitely got the pace, and I think maybe this might be the case that you're better for this run and come out fighting again, because Aston Martin do not look short of pace this season.
Thank you very much, dude. I mean, it's been it's not a bad debut in the season, if you like. I mean, it's not the debut obviously because we had the social races, but you know what I mean. It's okay. I can't exactly complain, but you you always want more, especially when it's that tantalizingly close. It's like on the tip of my fingers, like I could almost taste the podium. It was right there, and I was like, it's gutting, man. But that's just like that's the instinct. That's the way it is.
The brutal reality of esports.
You always want it. Yeah, I mean, you've got to be an absolute alien just to have an opportunity. I mean, as you say, you've got to be in your A game, up tick, and that's just to fit the criteria to have an opportunity. It doesn't mean anything. Like, to be honest, during points of that race, I had optimism that we could maybe win. Like, I felt that win was maybe on the cards if the mediums fell away for the Mercedes, and if the soft runners took a while to come through. But it's good to have these thoughts. I mean, at least you're in these sort of positions to challenge. And yeah, I mean, to coming towards the end of the race, I was actually really scared I was going to get mugged by Matteo. Wait, not was it Matteo? I don't know. Someone behind me in a Ferrari.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
was
remember,
Matteo.
but
Yeah,
someone.
Matteo.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know at one point, but the soft runners break so late because of the grip. I had Barry. I was like saying to my chat, he came from like nearly 100 meters back, and I'm like, hang on, hold on. How is he that close? How is it possible?
Incredible.
And yeah, I gave it. Yeah, I just hope everyone enjoyed the race because honestly, I had a lot of fun. Qualifying was a bit nerving. The preparation was okay for this race. Next race, I don't know how I'll approach it with France, but we'll take it as it comes. And yeah, I mean, it was just such a fun race. So many battles, so many tactics. Yeah, I can hold my head high because I think I did everything in some way. I did a lot of things right more than I did wrong, if that makes sense. It could have been a lot worse. So let's take the positives and crack on next week.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, I'm sure, will be looking forward to seeing that. So just want to say a big thank you to yourself, Lucas. Lucas Blakely, everybody, and cracking, holding his head up high. Lucas, we're looking forward to seeing your progression through the season, and I'm sure that you will be striking again at France. Well done, mate.
Man, thanks very much for having me as always, and yeah, I can't wait to listen to your beautiful commentary as always.
You're a diamond. Oh, you make me blush. No worries.
Right, take care, everyone. Ciao.
Take care. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you ever so much. Jack, another fantastic end. First race back at PSGL, and I have to say, if it starts like this or carries on like this in this vein, we're in for a really special season. I just want to say as well, big shout out to Connor as well. Please come and join us in the live chat because we need to talk now because we got to have a special conversation here with you guys, the viewers at home. But Jack, just to summarise, incredible, wasn't it? Just sensational race.
It just was, yeah. I don't know what I was expecting coming into this season, but I didn't expect a race that close towards the end with so many strategies just coming together. And I'm having a quick look at the standings, of course, from last season with Jarno, of course, getting that win. He still has a 100% podium record in PSGL. The streak continues. I don't know how he does it.
Wow, that's incredible. And, I'm sure that he will do his utmost to continue that vein of form as well. I'm going to bring Big C in as well because, of course, this is the mastermind behind everything that goes on at PSGL. And tonight, folks, we did the unthinkable tonight. We smashed over 5K viewers. Connor, an emotional night for everyone connected with PSGL. You must be beaming like a Cheshire cat, mate.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, every single time we just keep on doing it. We always think, 1K, 2K. I mean, like 5K or whatever. It's just under 5K. It's just like you don't expect league racing. No, it is league racing. We're all doing it for free to take off like this. So yeah, just a special thanks to everyone. It's just beyond words. Like me and Lou in a party on PS5, and it's just like it just kept going up and up, and it's mind blowing. I'm sure you guys think the same when you're commentating. So yeah, crazy.
Yeah, well, when we see little comments in the live chat saying 2K, 3K, 4K, 5K, we're like, oh my word, this is sensational. I mean, I'm looking at the numbers now, right? Now, brace yourself for this one. We have hit over 57,265 playbacks for this single stream. Never before seen in league racing, ladies and gentlemen. You lot have made history. And Connor, I can only see this continuing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to get bigger and better, especially if, the likes of, Jarno, Barry, Danny, Lucas, all these types of guys are at the front of it. So just think of all the guys like P18, P19, they're top talented drivers. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Absolutely mad. And obviously, you were a little bit, you were close towards the end. Danny Moreno looked like he might have got a win. But obviously, looking ahead now, looking at the pundit predictions, we're all in good stead with Jarno Opmeer winning today. That's probably one positive point. Lucas Blakely didn't quite shine for me and Jack today, but I don't know what happened to Maku's tip. It was right down that one slipped right down the toilet, didn't it?
Yeah, Donoso, weren't it? I think he had a bit of a spin, but I mean, I think that's what's great about this game. Like, it is quite similar to 2020, but like the curbs, and it's actually quite a tricky game in the races, which, even the top drivers are making mistakes, which is great to see. So I think it'll be more of the same at France next week.
Yeah, I think it must be. But folks, we're going to go and do the usual socials roundup now after a sensational stream. And I tell you what, folks, it's a pleasure. You're all welcome to check us out on Twitter at Premier Sim GL. That's Premier Sim Gaming Leagues at Premier Sim GL. That is the Twitter tag. Make sure you check it out. Stay up to date with all things new at Premier Sim Gaming Leagues or PSGL. And also, if you want to tweet me, you're more than welcome. My @ is right next on my right-hand side or left as you're looking at me. That's at George Morgan TV. Looking further down, Jack, hit them up with your comms tag as well, please, or your Twitter tag, if you please.
Yeah, absolutely. You can at me at JackCComs, at JackCComs on Twitter. Yeah, just try not to flood my DMs. I know you're amazing, guys. But
do it. Oh, honestly, brilliant stuff. And Connor, hit them with yours, if you please.
Yeah, at Big Sooner Squad 019. And yeah, Jack, we know you're famous now, but I don't think you're getting that many just yet, but we'll see.
He's getting a bit big-headed now, isn't he? Let's be honest. Yeah, no, it's brilliant. And also, Maku's is there as well, folks. But incredible, amazing to have you guys on board with us as well. We've enjoyed it so much, and I have to say, it was sensational. We made history here at PSGL, folks. League Racing has made history. But, folks, it's been a pleasure. It was Jarno Otmir who took the first win in Season 29 of the PC Championship with Danny Moreno snapping at his heels. But look out for Barry Burrowman. It could be a repeat of last season. We'll see you at Paul Ricard, folks. Good night.